Welcome back to Sunday Shenanagins, session 10, Chilling Realization. As we last left off, we had the awakening of the world, as it was called, I believe, as the magical UN, as many of the players have deemed it, took place with the many things being decided amongst them, but most importantly, the party would find themselves being rewarded by Greg's Marathon, though instead of choosing to stick with and become vassals of Greg's Marathon in any way of the or shape or form, the party instead would choose equivalent goods and be given a quite a valuable prize in exchange for their services at the siege of Adventure's beginning. As part of those services, the party would find themselves with a new airship, one that hopefully would allow them to do a bit of traveling, and thankfully without a Zilpip as the party had assumed. Though a few things would go on, the party would find themselves in the midst of a political conundrum as Greg's Marathon, the ruling leader of Diamond's Death, the city that the party had been at, and where this magical UN meeting had come together, had been found to have undead servants that would manage to try and attack Utham, though failing quite miserably. A lot of suspicions would arise. Oh, not so much, or none so great as the great Ader's interesting absorption of a level 5 spell from Greg's Marathon. With this, the party would find themselves a little concerned and cornered, and with Utham looking to escape quite quickly due to the attempted assassination and expected further assassination attempts, the party would find themselves on the run with Utham for a moment as they headed out the front door and head for their carts. Though, instead of continuing on, the party would find themselves heading off to meet up at their airship, waiting for their fearless leader to catch up with them, as Kesnanok was nowhere to be seen. Utham would end up leaving the party, and unfortunately leaving them to travel by themselves all the way down to their airship. We come back from last time with you lot. Now boarded the airship itself. I believe I posted a picture. I think it's still somewhere in here. With you lot now aboard, the captain's quarters kind of set at the very back of the ship, but a large glass dome where the helm is set at the front. Seems to be the ship is sized to almost be designed for someone of a shorter race, though the doors and ship seem to expand unnaturally as the fire giants walk in. You watch as the ship kind of almost expands around them slightly to make adjustments as you lot board. As you do so, kind of checking out the ship, you realize it's got about 3 decks in total as you find out. A bottom cargo deck that looks to be mostly just an empty space, nothing seemingly fancy in there. A middle deck that seems to contain the majority of the cooking implements, the cooking quarters, the barracks for the crew, though none seems to be present at this time, and then a couple of individual bedrooms, about 4 in total that you count, that seem to, when opened up by each of you, no matter which of the 4 doors you do, seem to change and show as a room that looks to be almost designed to your comfort and interest. As each of you kind of find this, the final top deck, rather, of sorts, as this thing is domed over, find yourself with a helm at the front and a captain's quarters at the back. A few bookshelves scattered about the captain's quarters, and a simple desk and a bed, but otherwise seems pretty much unfurnished. The rest of that upper deck seems to be mostly just leftover supplies, a couple barrels set aside, and otherwise nothing else of interest. As you walk about, the ship is noted as a magical device and does require a use magic device roll to use.
I see. Well, don't technically have it, but if you give me 24 hours, I can do it.
I mean, it is made for smaller statured people, it seems. It might be best if you are able to. I also don't really know how to do this.
I can't say it's exactly my forte either.
I just need a bit of time to study, and I kind of pat at my side like one of like the random bits and pieces of magical equipment hang there to change things out. Should be able to.
All right.
Very well.
As as the three of you kind of start splitting up and looking about, either as you start kind of working about the ship, kind of taking a look at the helm, looking at all the different copper pipes that seem to be able to move, as you kind of shift them about, little what looks to be pieces of glass seemingly shifting, piping seemingly opening, and steam kind of blowing through. This thing seems to start to kind of almost roar to life a little bit, as the airship itself seems to turn on, as you sit down to take a look. Dom, while Ida is taking a look at this and kind of investigating how the ship works, what are you doing?
I was just thinking about that. I think Dumbledore would be doing almost like a security check of the ship, like checking that there's no signs of like damage, checking if there's any like weaponry or defenses on board, any like hidden compartments, anything that might be hiding something dangerous or be a good place to hide things dangerous that we need to keep hidden. He's just trying to like find the hidden compartments and anything of note, like in terms of like that type of stuff.
Okay, give me a search check.
All right. Which dice am I going to start with? This is going to set the tone of the session. First roll of the session, guys. Not bad. You said a search?
Yes, correct.
17.
Alright, as you kind of find yourself looking about the ship, looking up and down, doesn't seem to be any sort of user manual explanation to how the airship works. As you look throughout the airship, though, something does kind of catch your attention. There are copper pipings all throughout the ship. As you kind of look out the couple of portholes it has on the sides, the other airships themselves are all, like, actual ships. They're, a top deck, a lower deck, and seem to have giant sails. Some have a couple of interesting magical devices upon them, but most of them look to be like crystals that are glowing. Stuff you'd expect to be arcane. Something about this airship seems strange to you as you kind of walk about. After about a good 30 minutes of looking about, down in the cargo, you find a barrel that wasn't there a moment ago. As you kind of look at it, it doesn't seem to move, but you're almost, as you look about the room, there's no way to get in the bottom of the cargo without going up and down, or going all the way down from the top of the ship itself. You would have seen something like this being in there, and it wasn't there when you first checked the ship out.
Now I have a question for you out of character that's gonna determine how I react to this in character. How common is the knowledge of mimics in this world?
Mimics are actually a pretty common thing. They're considered domesticated animals in some lands. People will, like, domesticate them to follow them around as living luggage, basically. Though there's also the apex creature that is known as the Golden City, that is known for luring adventurers in and eating their entire parties. So
Yeah, okay. Thinking there's a barrel, wasn't there before Mysterious. I think Downlander goes to, this is likely something with a person or with a substance, like something snuck on. He's just, being Downlander's going to jump to, like, the worst assumption. I think Downlander's going to put on his gas mask just to be safe, and then we'll approach cautiously to open the barrel. I don't know if there's, like, a specific action in 3.5 I could prep. The dodge action's a thing, right? Or no, that's something else.
There's a full defensive action.
Yeah. Probably that. Just as like he's just preparing that something's gonna jump out at him and to react to it.
A prepared action. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. So if anything pops out, okay. Your monk prep fist.
We'll stay. He's not going on the offensive here.
I was gonna say, if Dom decks this individual, Dom could actually kill the individual.
Oh.
Keep that in mind.
Oh. That's okay. That is good to know.
Well, because think about it, you're a trained monk. That's what the whole point of using your fist is.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
In
A
general.
commoner is gonna have
Lore.
no. A commoner not having more than like a D4 of health, could easily be killed by a single punch from a monk. Yeah. As you walk over to the barrel, getting closer to it, it is as you kind of take a minute. The barrel's suspiciously about 5 feet, 5.5 feet roughly in height, and only about maybe 3 feet in width. It's kind of a wider barrel than it is for how tall it is. As you walk over towards it, the top of it you notice has little holes, that look like they've been like poked through by like a nail or something like that. As you can kind of not really see into it, as it looks to be something. It's too dark inside the barrel, but you can definitely tell that something's in there.
Is the lid the type of barrel where you can like peek it open and shut it, or is this the type of barrel where I just have to rip that off?
Oh, it's not. It's a corked barrel, so you're gonna have to like punch through the thing if you want to break the top off, from what you can tell.
Well, how far away are like the others?
Well, assumingly, Eider is on the top deck. On the with the controls and looking at the helm. That'd be about 110 feet in total of movement to get all the way from where he's at to the stairs to all the way down the stairs.
Okay. Not far enough for a voice to carry, then, basically. Okay. Yeah, I'll punch it open.
Okay.
Again, I'm not trying to damage whatever is inside, unless it damages me first. But yeah, I'll open this up. Why
all right. Go ahead and give me an attack on it.
Okay. First attack roll in a while. Let me see.
If the barrel kicks your butt, there's a problem.
If the barrel kicks the butt, I have to leave session, guys. I just have to go. Let me make sure okay, yeah. Attack bonus is correct. So that's a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage for your non-lethal, which is just your fist.
Yep, just my fist. Nothing crazy. Oh, that was not in the dice box. It was the same either way though. 6.
As you go and kind of leaning over and punch straight down, as the lid kind of completely pushes down into the barrel, and almost as if someone's trying to push it aside, seeing and expecting your hand to come down, you hear in Dwarvish go, "Oh shit! I'm innocent!" As you see, looking down at you, or looking up at you, is a very tanned, kind of slightly red hair, mostly brownish, short individual.
You said, okay. Would I recognize who this is, or have is there anything in their clothes that would give away if they are high or low rank?
Looking at their clothes, looks to be a leather jerkin, and what looks to be underneath some robes that are look to be of semi-quality. Give me an appraisal check to see if you can tell exactly how.
Okay. Let me find where appraisal is.
It should be the top of your skills.
The top.
Oh yeah, it is. I just completely blanked on it. 13.
13. Kind of taking a look in, it looks like this individual is wearing quite well-off scholarly clothes. The robes themselves seem to be made of some sort of silk and slightly enchanted, as you see runes on them slightly glowing. They look up at you, kind of with innocence in their eyes, and a slight bit of fear. They look to be, you'd guess, probably mid to higher noble ranking, or at least that wealthy.
Now, does this figure look like they have space in the barrel, or does this figure look like they're fully stuck in there? Like they would have to shimmy to get out?
They look pretty crammed in there.
Okay, so they couldn't, like, really suddenly swing a hand forward to hit me or grab me or anything like that without some hassle.
With the appraisal, looking them up and down, you don't see much muscle in this individual. They look like very much the scholar that you're kind of starting to look at them and realize not someone who's picked up a weapon in quite a while, if at all.
I don't think we were informed about having any persons on the ship when it was given to us. Who are you? Why are you here? And Dominator's gonna like idly crack his knuckles after like punching through the barrel, like looking. I'm assuming he's having to peer real far down.
Yeah.
To get a look at this person.
And it's also mostly dark in this area, so. Yeah,
with,
the
like,
torch.
The gleaming red gold eyes.
Mm-hmm. The torch kind of behind you on the staircase, the shadow mostly kind of covering your face for the most part. As you look down on the individual, they look up and go, my name's Bardris. I'm just hitching a ride home.
Where is your home?
Frim Purser's last hold.
Now, I know Nimfur's last hold is a relatively big city. Does Thunder recognize this person's name or would have known about a dwarf like this there? Because I am from there as well.
You can either give me a knowledge local since you're from there. I'll take that or an intelligence check.
Okay. If I don't have knowledge local as a skill, then I assume it would just be an intelligence check anyway.
Yep.
So, really, it's intelligence or intelligence, guys. So, I think I'm going to go with intelligence. Just, you know.
Gotcha.
Oh, no. I rolled so bad. 3.
You don't remember seeing dwarves in Frim Purser's last hold, and this looks to be like a dwarf given the size of him. And the beard. Either that or he's a really short Goliath.
I think Down Under's gonna, like, kind of narrow his eyes a bit and, like, give him another look over. I don't recall knowing of you, and you look like someone of importance.
We're gonna come back to that in a second here. Ned, while this is going on, what are you doing?
Exploring the ship and touching literally everything.
Alright.
Oh, no.
Ned, give me a search check during this. Ned's feeling the wood. Got to make sure everything works and that the tree that was harmed to make it is happy.
That's a 5.
Oh, no. Alright, as you get lost on the second floor going into one of the rooms, as it seems to open up to this beautiful grove of forest, as you walk through, you find yourself almost lost in its warmth. It looks almost identical to the grove that you were in before you started all of this. Though, look as you may try, you don't seem to find any of your members or any signs of your grove ever having been here, as you spent the next hour.
Frolicking. I don't even care.
Yes, as you spend the next hour kind of enjoying yourself throughout the forest and everything, being home. Alright, we jump back over to Dom. As you say this, Dom, he looks up at you and goes, "Listen, I'm a friend of Regan Utham's. I work with the guy who works for him, kind of. Listen, you speak Giant, right?"
Correct.
Okay, switches to Giant and goes, "You can ask him. I mean, if you know Regan Utham, I mean, if I'm using his name, he'd kill me if I was wrong, right? It's not like I can really defend myself from this." As he looks at the barrel he's stuck in.
Who is this person that works with Utham who you work with? What's the name?
He's a member of the Champions of Pyrus. I don't know which one's stuck there. Or, sorry, Collective of Pyrus these days. Yes, Collective,
Eyes narrowing even for... Also, wait, I will have to say, I am wearing the gas mask right now. I really forgot about that. So I have a ominous mask on. I guess, actually, seeing that there doesn't seem to be anything toxic, Domnander would probably have like remove it at this point. Um, Still have it on hand, but like remove it.
Oh, thank God it's not Zilpip. Oh, you literally
You know of him.
know of him. He pretty much killed me. Oh, man, more evil than you'd know. Never trust the short dwarves. If they're short and don't have a beard, they're gonna kill you.
He tried to kill you. I wonder
And-
what his reasoning for that was.
In a matter of speaking, I don't know if it's the same Zilpip in fairness. It might be, it might not be.
just read chat. I think okay. I don't I always roll sense motive. That's not what I'm trying to figure out here.
So you've got two of the party members you could also call down here. Well, one of them is currently frolicking, I will say, and locked
How heavy
away.
would this barrel be? How heavy would this barrel be with with this guy inside?
Um,
To just carry him up to the others to present.
give me an appraise check, let's say, for this to see if you can tell.
Just trying to be like, how heavy is this? Because I'm not the strongest. Only a 3 again. I'm rolling real bad now. I keep getting 2s.
As you kind of look it up and down, you guess maybe maximum 200, maybe 300 pounds.
Okay, I don't think I can carry that much without having some kind of issues. What am I gonna do with this? You say you're going back to Hrimper's last hold. Is this a casual visit, or do you have business there?
Well, I mean,
Because we're not going there. We're going somewhere else in the Jotun-Morderlands, which means if it's important, there might be issues.
oh, I can get there on my own from wherever you travel. I just don't want to have to travel for the next 9 months sitting on an airship waiting for it. I assume you lot are gonna go through the that new setup to Velkomen, the Scholar City.
I don't think Domnander would confirm that. I think he like ties the mask to wherever he keeps it, like on his sash, on his belt, and is like tapping his chin a bit thoughtfully as he like eyes the barrel. All right, sure. I will take you to speak with my cohorts about this more. Do you want me to attempt to free you now, or would you rather sit and wait? Because in order to free you, I will have to bust you out. As he, like, idly, not threateningly necessarily, but idly balls a hand into a fist.
Oh, no, here. And you watch as Bartus kind of wiggles his hands and gets one of his hands out and snaps his fingers, and he seems to shrink a little bit and then kind of pulls himself out and then re-expands out to his normal size. As he pulls himself out, looking at you, he definitely looks to be like a snowbeard, but that's not white hair, and his skin is anything but porcelain looking. He is a quite tanned individual, and everything about him seems strange as you look him up and down. He almost looks more to be like a mix of a hill giant as far as his skin tone goes. As he looks up and goes, God, I've been stuck in that barrel for hours. I was told by a troll he could get me on, and then things went black, and I was in. Next thing I know, you broke the lid. Oh, but I'm glad you guys got to reward my airship. Otherwise, that would have made this really awkward.
This is yours.
In a matter of speaking, I
yours?
built it. I designed it. It's designed in case the world doesn't suddenly magic turns off, and well, because I think that happened. Wait, kind of. You see him pull out a little notebook and he starts flipping pages as he reads something. As he starts reading something, and goes, "Oh, never mind." Go ahead.
Can I think this would have to be sense motive or something. Obviously, I, out of character, know what's happening here, but I want Dom to make a roll for Domnander to try to figure out what's happening here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Go.
I don't know if you want to like sense motive into the strange behavior and like the inconsistencies in he's saying, or if it's an intelligence check or what. But I want to make a check.
What are you trying to gather exactly? Is it just what's up with the inconsistencies?
Literally, just like he looks strange and foreign. He's not like a person I've seen before. He's talking about stuff and then like quickly correcting himself. Like
Okay.
he knows something that's similar but slightly like he just seems like either someone who's on a substance or someone who's potentially crazy.
Okay.
So I think Dumbledore's trying to figure out like what his deal is, because he doesn't seem like he's drunk and he doesn't seem like he's crazy. He seems perfectly reasonable, but he's talking a little bit of nonsense, and that's kind of like a red flag to him personally.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Listen. All right. Sense motive. Oh, I keep getting really close to 20 and not getting 20, and it's upsetting. 19.
19. As you kind of watch this individual, it seems as if they are slightly confused. They're definitely telling you the truth, but it seems like their understanding of the truth seems strange and off to you. Some things they say seem to be correct, but some of the things they say haven't happened yet and don't make sense that they would, as he seems to kind of babble on as he opens his notebook. And the misconceptions and corrections, it's as if this individual's maybe got afflicted by a magic of some sort. Maybe there's some sort of disease that's caused his mind to slightly be split. Maybe he's seeing another world entirely. Maybe he could be from a completely different plane of existence. It's really hard to tell on the individual. The only thing that you are 100% on is that they're not crazy, but and that they are telling the truth.
I think, though he still doesn't like the inconsistencies, he will relax upon like determining that he's likely truthful, and will gesture for him to go ahead first, so Dumbledore can like trail behind.
Oh, I appreciate that. I hate keeping up with giants. You all have such a long gait. Short legs do not help in this age for walking. Although you're not supposed to have airships already, which is strange. Oh well, it's just a misunderstanding, I guess. Someone probably messed with something. As he starts kind of climbing up the stairs, you see as he comes to the second floor, he looks down and goes, "I think your compatriot is in his room currently. If that's who you're waiting for, the tall green one."
There's two, but yes, he would be one of them.
I think he's down in the room right there. I don't know. He kind of points to a door where you see what looks to be a strange little knot of a tree. Kind of looks to be carved into the door now. What you now meet as the individual kind of looks back to you and goes, I believe he's actively inside. Just as a heads up, he can't hear us or anything, so if you're going to go gather him, you need to go knock on the door and basically to bring him in.
I think Dumbledore can go do that. I think he's gonna make sure this guy's still in his line of sight, but
he'll follow after. As he looks at you and goes, "By the way, Domnander, my name is Bargerus, if you don't mind, if I have introduced myself properly, of the clan of Pyrrhus."
I don't recall telling you my full name.
It's an unfortunate curse. I can see everyone's name. Their true name, their false names, anything. It's only unfortunate thing to it is I can't do anything with the information as I can't write it down, so nor can I use it hostilely against others. It's an unfortunate part of my curse. Okay. Never make a miracle.
Good. I was wondering. So you have been cursed. You seem
in a way of speaking.
Mm.
I made a miracle happen once, and, well, unfortunately, if you're not familiar with the spell, it's it's like Wish. Oh, wait, that hasn't been... It'd be similar to the idea of... And he kind of thinks for a second. Imagine if you had a spell that could give you anything if you want, just at the say of your words, but your words hold all of the power. What you don't say and what you do say are just as equally important. Fortunately for me, what I didn't say kind of caused more problems than what I did.
I'm not familiar with magic like that, but magic itself seems picky.
Oh, you'll meet someone soon.
Complex.
Actually, in the next city we go to, you should be meeting with someone who uses a kind of magic quite often.
Well then, and Dominator will just like knock on the door to kind of change the subject there. Like I imagine they're at the
Yeah.
door at this point.
Ned, as you hear a knock on the door coming through from the other side of the glaive, the door suddenly reappears about 30 feet behind you as you hear it still someone knocking at it.
Could they at all hear the loud thudding of me frolicking?
They cannot.
No.
I'm on the way.
As,
I start frolicking back towards the door.
as you come frolicking up to the door, as you go to open it, it seems to pull through, and as you see Domnander standing there, you see this short, tan, dark-haired dwarf kind of standing there, staring at you in their scholar outfit, kind of just smiling.
Eider, you look different.
That's quite racist. I'm not a snowbeard, but wait. Oh yes, I am a snowbeard. I apologize, but no, I'm not your friend.
Dominator. His eyes narrow slightly again, but I imagine it's too high up for the dwarf to see. But he
It's so
refers to
racist.
Ned. This is
How did you
Not
get on our
Eider.
ship?
Ned ignores Dom's comment completely, looking down at the dwarf, and the dwarf looks up and goes, "Oh, I paid a guy a couple gold coins, and he snuck me on."
Well, I guess that's one way to get business
Apparently.
done.
Tall green fella. Oh no, red fella, pink skin, something like that.
Nah, can't say that I know him.
Well, it makes sense. I don't imagine you've met many trolls as of yet, Mr. Ned. Also, I feel bad for your grove. They're so unfortunate not to realize what you're going to become. I'm a huge fan of your guys' work. I heard about your fighting and adventures beginning. No?
Just like look at Dom and
I'm-
then look back at them.
Look
watching
back
this
at the
figure,
field behind
like,
me.
sharply. Dominator is making a mental catalog of like all of these little things that I don't think Ned's catching on to. But if Ned looks at him, Dominator will kind of like speak. He claims he's on his way to business in Regan Utham's lands, which we're heading to. Apparently, he knows Reagan by proxy, essentially. I figured I would speak to you neither to see if you guys felt this figure trustworthy or not, and
Oh,
working things out with that.
don't worry. Eider will find me trustworthy. I doesn't really have a choice given the information I have for him.
I look forward to hearing about it then.
Oh, sure. Has he told you about his family?
We just met him like yesterday.
Wait, is it still that early on? Huh. Things must not... with everything progressing in such weird ways these days, it's hard to keep track of where, and when. Have you lot met as he starts kind of walking towards the stairs, have you lot met the individual known as Jakix yet, or has that not happened as of yet?
Unfortunately.
Is he
Interesting.
the one that tried to kill us?
Yes. Dominator like sighs. Yes, Ned. That one.
As you come walking up the stairs, Eider, what are you doing at this point as you're kind of working on investigating this giant airship?
I just have like a small just book propped open and like lazily reading, focusing, on the peripheral, trying to get a good read for like some of the ambient magic. Yeah, just kind of relaxing, taking it as it comes, and then, yeah, just my day gets fucked up.
Yeah, as you see this, this very tan-looking, what you recognize immediately, it's a dwarf, but he's definitely stockier. By stockier, I mean kind of thicker around the middle by a good bit than most any average snowbeard. He's also with his gingerish brown hair seems to kind of catch your attention as he looks on towards you. Kind of gives a smile and goes, "Ah, Eider, you're still alive. Interesting. That shouldn't have happened."
Nice to meet you.
Oh, my name's Bargers of Clan Pyrus, the collective of Pyrus, people, scholars, travel around the world writing down information.
I imagine I've never fucking heard of these people.
They're actually a very famous organization. However, it depends on your perspective as far as how much you would do research. They are the collectors of all information in the world, sending out world history books, updating the world maps. They're kind of a collective of information gatherers, if you will.
Okay. Probably have heard of them. I've got, a good amount of ranks and just a bunch of different knowledges, so definitely like eclectic sort of interests growing up.
Yeah. You most know them familiar with is the fact they do run their own country, for your own knowledge. Though it is a mysterious land that no one seems to be allowed into except those who are recognized as scholars amongst their ranks.
Like sniff thoughtfully for a moment, like close my book and get off the pilot seat and say, "Right. Well, what brings you to our airship?"
Oh, I told Dumbnander here I'm here to hitch a ride. You guys are going to Velkomen to do a few missions there, I'd imagine. Or at least that's what you should be doing at this point in the... Yes, anyways, I figured in exchange I would pass on the information I was not paid to give, but had offered in exchange for a chance to get onto the ship.
Are you alright?
Not the slightest.
Seem to talk out of both sides of your mouth.
He nods up and down shakily. It's a problem.
Is that where the noise comes from?
Kind of turns up and goes, "Well, it's better than the voices in my head. There's like 4 of them right now shouting different things. It's quite annoying to listen to." Anyways, as he looks back to Eider, he goes, "If I'm correct, you're trying to learn how to work the device. You should be good within a few hours. If everything goes right, then we should be able to be out of here. By that point, I see no issue. If I'm happy to give him my information if you're willing to promise me a safe ride. I guarantee I'm not being hunted by anyone or there's nothing like chasing me. I'm just trying to return the closest place to my home."
Then why were you hiding in a... Oh, wait, I don't know that. Never mind.
Then why did you have a troll sneak you onto your own ship?
Well, it's not
Salamander will ask that.
It's not my airship, technically. I lost it as part of payment to Griggs Maritom. I had made a bet with him that Adventure's beginning wouldn't fall within the first month of siege, and unfortunately I lost that bet. Now, I'm fine with that, but since she is my custom-made, unfortunately for your friend there, he's not going to be able to work this thing with a proper for more than a few tries before it's going to blow up on him as he looks over to Eider. See, there's a big pipe over here that's going to get really hot, and it's going to probably kill all of you if you continue on with what you're doing. But I can make sure it doesn't do that, and exchange making sure that it's as easy to use as possible going forward.
It seems like an exorbitant amount of services you're offering. I can't help but be skeptical as to why.
Well, I mean, the first Papool's in this city and was just captured, and I mean, I'd rather not take my chances that he's got some ritual to blow up the city, and himself with it. If that's not enough for you, I can put to secondly, there's someone that has an interest in me and that's coming to these lands, not soon, but soon-ish, and enough time that I can't get out of here without, well, this current situation. You'll be the last airship to really leave these territories. Well, besides Zilpips, but he's already taken off with that one.
I can understand those motivations at least.
He nods and looks over to the other two, to Ned and Domnander.
Oh, real fast, I do fix him with the blue steely-eyed gaze. He's evil.
As you go ahead and take a look at him, he is not.
Like, think for a moment and say, I hate to do this to you. Do you mind loosening your shirt top?
Oh, are you looking for
A concerned look at a hider.
Are you looking for gravestone markings, or I don't serve oat. I'm not one of his followers. I do know where he is, but I can't technically tell you that, as it's not time for you to find that out yet. As he takes his shirt off and completely removes it bare. Or are you talking about the big circle thing that you found at the that magical United Nations meeting that they'll call in the history books here soon?
That
Oh.
thing wasn't quite dead, but
I'm not dead. Well, I am, but I'm not. Not dead yet in this timeline, if that makes sense. And he takes a second and kind of looks at you.
You confuse me, little fella.
Well, name's you can call me Bardris, but trust me, when you've been through as much as I have, I've seen gods fall, gods rise. People chop heads off, chop my head off, turn people into magical devices, turn them into magical batteries. I've seen things that would make the future, for your future, look like, well, honestly, like a peaceful day in the park. You have no idea what's to come, and you don't want to. Or what could come.
Just blink.
just like purse my lips, like during like his entire speech, and say, "If we do take you on, I want your promise that you stop with this prophecy nonsense."
Oh, it's not nonsense. I fully have a book that I can prove all of it, though. For some reason, none of you can read it, which I don't know how to explain that one. But yes, anyways, my message to you for my payment of this, I do feel I'm obligated, at the very least, while you contemplate this, and this might come into a factor in whether you decide it or not. Because to be honest, this will be a key decision on what happens in your future. Anyways, as you kind of take a second, what was that message? Was it? It wasn't that, because that would have been this. No. You're a Snowbeard in this one, so that would mean that's it. Alfred Stone is hunting your family, the Treasure Horn family. They are currently in trouble, and he's been. Last I saw her or found out was banished to this dark continent, as you lot would know it. A land that just should be recently discovered at this point. He's going to come and hunt you all down. It includes you and your cousin who's out and about, traveling with a group called the Ironheart Merchant Company. You'll probably hear of them soon. In fact, you'll probably be calling on their help quite soon, if all goes to plan. Now, I will let you know, how you take this information and what you decide to do with me right here will be the key factor in what will change this book that I have on my back. Though again, for some reason, as you watch him kind of like mimic, looks like he's holding a massive book that's about almost as big as him in width and what looks to be height, just by how he's holding it. But as he like shakes it in the air and like tries to open it, like mimics opening this massive book, there's nothing there.
Like no pages or just blank pages?
There's not even a book there. It's literally just there's air.
Yeah, Ider's doing his level best to just not be curious about
I would
this
like
shit.
to whisper to Dom, probably not very quiet. I think this guy's crazy.
I know what's going to happen. I can literally read it page for page. I can read what you're saying before you say it. This bard just looks up at you, Ned.
Then you'll know what I'm about to offer then.
It works to that to a certain degree. I don't get decisions in here until they're in a sense made, until something's cemented. So like choices don't pop up because choices define. It's a lot of technical stuff I'm not going to explain to you. I'm going to be honest, I will probably blow up your heads if I go through the whole thing. A short end of it, I can't tell you too much of what's going on, otherwise y'all end up dead.
Or insane.
Well,
Floofy dog with the peanut butter pencil. I bet it didn't say that.
You're right, it didn't. I don't have that written here. Just says something about nonsense.
Thunder drags a
beaming
little
with
bit,
pride.
like a hand down his face a bit. Can you tell us a single piece of information from the book if we ask about it, or will we go mad?
If it's already happened, I can. I can't tell you anything that's going to happen. I can give you a prophecy, but it sounds like madness to most people.
I'd recommend against it.
Oh, it also really angers the gods when I do that. And I'm not talking the gods you know. They're Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't explain that one to you. Yeah, have you met this fella named Pierre yet?
Nope.
It kind of looks to Domnander and Ned.
No.
Are you sure?
Doesn't ring a bell.
I'm pretty sure he was in amongst your numbers at a certain point. When you see him, he'll have a giant airship with a bunch of naked random people that look really foreign and of species you've never seen. When you see this individual, just do yourself a favor. Try and get in tune with whatever god he serves. You'll understand. Well, I can't tell you anything.
Should we? That sounds like Zilpip's wet dream. I don't know how better to describe that.
Oh, Zilpip wouldn't even mess with these individuals. Although at one point he did. Although that doesn't that could happen. That shouldn't happen this time around.
As to your comments about Alfred Stone, I don't like the non-true dwarf.
Yeah, he's technically a dwarf. He's technically not. Is that your question? He looks at Domnander.
No.
Okay.
I have an offer to give in return for me accepting your passage here.
You're the party
fully
leader.
Guaranteed safety.
Interesting.
I suppose helping in the
Is this the timeline where Kesnanok runs off with Zilpip?
No, he's in quiet contemplation down below.
Eyebrow quirks a bit at that,
The charm spell must have failed, then. Interesting. So Zilpip did have his 1 in a million failure in this timeline. Good to know. I have better chances than. What's your question?
In exchange for safe passage in which room, food, all that will be provided, and any assistance we can offer in getting you to where you need to go once we land, I would like to ask you a question in private in regards to this forbidden knowledge stuff you seem to know. And as long as you answer truthfully, whatever you can say, I'll consider it payment for me. And compatriots are welcome to join in on this, but that is my offer.
Oh, do you want me to prove it? I can speak to the snake people, as he looks at Dom.
I don't need proof. I just want to ask you something.
Alright.
While we journey.
I assume the other two of you will want that, though I assume, Ned, you're not willing to take on a crazy man's advice, so I assume you'll ask for something else, something probably along the lines of a magical item, or the truth of what happened to your grove. I'm gonna guess you're leaning more towards the chance at where the anvil is and how you can get another autographed quarterstaff. As he looks at Ned.
I do like quarterstaffs.
So it's that. Okay. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. And let me guess, you either want to know how to work this ship, or, let me guess, see something about materials, maybe a future crafting that you're gonna make, a blueprint that you have yet to come up with?
I'll take the ship information. I find information I didn't earn to be poisonous.
You're smart. It's unfortunate your descendants won't follow you. Alright. He looks to Domnander, and then, as he kind of holds his hand out and goes, I'd shake your hand, but I'll be honest, I think your hand's the size of my entire arm. Figuratively speaking, we can shake on it. Sure.
Domnander offers a finger.
I appreciate your sympathy, as he shakes your finger and goes,
Yep.
I feel like I'm morally obligated to tell you something, but to be honest, I don't know if you want to know the information, as he looks over at Eider and goes, so, let me ask you something. You said you don't want to know information that you haven't earned, right?
Correct.
Alright. But I won't bother telling you. My only thing is, my only advice, either don't go to your bedroom tonight.
All right.
And he turns and goes, "Oh, and by the way," as he chucks a little, what looks to be a ragged, leather-bound, like piece or book of skins that have been written on, and goes, "That'll teach you how to run the device, without blowing her up, but can't promise that she'll run perfectly forever. So you're gonna have to learn how she works proper on your own.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Good luck to you." You can now add the manual to your airship, and then now you have a +4 to any time, as long as you have that on you, anytime using a magic device for an airship.
Woo!
Because this doesn't just give a description of this airship, but looks to give descriptions of many other versions that you've seen, even docked around.
So I imagine.
Go ahead.
Sorry, is this thing like ensorcelled? Like, because I imagine that's way more information than just like one book could contain.
Oh, it seems as you flip through it, it looks like the book, although it looks to be like a very thin, like almost like passport sized. It's as you flip page after page, you count hundreds of pages. It doesn't stop. It just magically keeps flipping.
Just like let out a low whistle and get to read.
Oh, as he kind of looks back at you, Ned, and looks at Domnander and goes, "Well, I got good news for you, Ned. As far as your quarterstaff, the Anvil is probably going to be one of the few people to survive the plague that's coming up. This isn't information I'm hiding. You're already dealing with that. You got those necromancers you probably figured out as a problem. Plague is a general term for just the death walking, as they call it. So, a lot of necromancers, all that going on. My advice, if you want to go visit him, wait till it hits. It'll be your safest place to stick around for a few months to wait out everything. I don't recommend going after the source, but I have a feeling Kez isn't going to listen to that."
Well, I think we will.
He kind of looks at Ned and goes, "What?" Ned, you cut out, by the way.
I will keep that in mind.
He nods and goes, "Oh, and here," as he hands you a black acorn with a green rim around the top of it, and a ring around the top of it, and goes, When you meet him next, give him this. It'll put you on good terms with him. In fact, it might actually be enough to make him think that you are a strong ally, or make him suspicious enough to kill you. It depends on how you deliver it."
I mean, he hasn't killed me thus far when I've seen him.
Hey, you've survived the first meeting. You usually don't do that. As he looks to Domnander, just as he kind of says that with a smile, and goes, "All right, you said you wanted to speak to me in private. I'm available now. There's a door or a hat hanger around here. You might want to investigate at some point. But beyond that, yeah, sure, I'm available if you'd like to speak."
Is that something we can investigate while we converse, or is that something for later?
"Do you like living?"
Preferably.
"Later."
Noted. I believe I saw a room on my exploration earlier we can discuss, and we'll gesture for the two of them to kind of break off.
Yeah.
To, I assume, one of the more, like, quiet, out-of-the-way rooms I discovered earlier.
As you...
Not necessarily all the way in the belly of the ship, because it's just the three of us, but, out of earshot.
Yeah, as you go to the second deck where the four rooms were, that one that Ned had found himself in, kind of running about in a grove by himself. As you kind of find yourself finding one of the rooms, the door yet without a symbol, walking through it. It seems to almost turn into a training arena of sorts, with a small and simple pad to sleep on off to the side, candles lit throughout the area, statues of Utham kind of set to the side, or kind of set in each of the corners, and a couple of wooden and straw training dummies set out. A few of them with marks from what looks to be a strong beating of sorts. Very well used equipment from all accounts. As you walk in, Bardris goes, "Your training grounds. Makes sense that your room would customize to your understanding of what is comfortable for you. I'll be honest, I can't fight you, as I'd probably kill you, so I hope you understand that I'm not going to try to harm you in this situation.
I don't plan for us to exchange blows during a conversation. I've had conversations like that, of course. You just don't seem like the type to be up for sparring while talking.
Oh!
And if there's like trying to think, would it be like a quarterstaff? I'm just like one of those wooden staffs, like martial arts,
Quarterstaff.
artists will
Yep.
practice with on dummies. He'll pick one of those up to train while he speaks, but he's not like gonna full out train so much as just like practice some, maneuvers he might have like not practiced in a bit. Kind of getting a feel for the room. I think he's a little suspicious that it changed to match him, but isn't like overly suspicious.
Bargis will just kind of watch and go, "Oh, normally you're a lot more aggressive. This must be because of the Zilpip thing. Maybe Kaznanok was the reason for everyone to be kinder. Who knows? Well, you had a question for me, though," as he just kind of stands flipping through this, what looks to be the massive book that he's mimicking, miming as if it's in front of him, kind of laying on the floor.
Yes, I'm doing this to help me think. I have two things of importance I wish to ask you, but the deal was only for one, and I'm not one to try to haggle a deal that's been made. So if you give me a moment, I will have my words sorted. As he gets a few more hits in, or not like I said, not aggressive hits. Definitely more like light, quick type jabs and stuff. This is also me out of character, trying to think what is a good question that the DM will give me answers to.
As we take a second, alright, as Bar just kind of stares, watching at you. Well, you take a second to kind of think. Ned, as you watch and then Iter, as you're kind of left standing up there, you see as Dom and Bardris head down below deck. You left her left standing there. What are you two doing?
Well, I've got imminent doom to avert. So
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Okay. Starting to flip through, reading the book. All right, got you.
A bit preoccupied by having to make sure the thing doesn't blow up. So
Seeing the glowing red pipe starting to glow a bit more, and then every once in a while starts to cool down as you move something according to the book, and it starts to warm back up as you have to move another thing rapidly. Yeah. All right. Ned, what about you?
Seeing that Iter is struggling, I'm just going to make my way back to the room.
Okay. Leaving
Ned
the
is doing his best
looks like
to be
you
helpful.
Got this here.
as you say this. I mean, yeah.
That is the most helpful thing Ned can do, though.
That's true. As Ned heads down and back into the room towards his, refinding that door and walking in to enjoy his grove, as the fresh air, the smell of the breeze coming in, hitting his face. As you walk past Ned, give me a spot check.
Okay.
Not the hat rack, please.
23.
As you go walking kind of through the second deck, kind of back towards the room, in the main kind of area where the kitchen is set off to one side, a little island of sorts that kind of cuts it off from the rest of the little cooking or sitting area where the crew would normally eat. Across from that looks to be a couple of open bunks, some hammocks strewn up. You see a hat rack that is oddly quite large and wide and oddly troll shaped, and it seems to be. Well, you stare at it, almost looks like someone took a couple of planks of wood and put them in front of them and nailed some hats with what looks to be a nail, like an actual iron nail, and just stuck it through the hat onto the board.
I would like to poke it with my quarterstaff.
As you go to tap it, doesn't seem to react, it just continues to stay, still.
Can I see, is it breathing or anything?
Oh, as you kind of stare at it for a moment, you do see the three of the pieces of wood that are leaning against this the inner core of it that's kind of slightly shrouded in darkness are kind of moving out and in gently. This person's like seemingly is breathing and trying, like it looks like they are trying to stay as still as possible.
I poke them a little harder.
As you do, nothing seems to happen.
You know I can see you there.
No.
As you hear a slightly rumblish and common no come from inside the the darkness covered by the planks.
Do I recognize the troll?
As you take a second, you do, it does immediately kind of catch your attention. The voice is identical to the same one that led you guys in the attack on the barracks back in Adventure's beginning.
I take it you brought the bear along.
The hat rack does not speak.
Can I, like, push one of the pieces of wood over?
Yeah, as you go to push it over, give me a strength check, and also give me a strength check.
Oh, wow. I rolled a 4.
Oh, no.
19.
As you go to like push it with your quarterstaff, the piece of wood seems to almost tighten in, and as you feel the quarterstaff slightly get pulled in for a second, like as if like a dog is kind of like bitten and starting to try and take it from you. As you try to wrestle it away, let the individual like seems to let go as you pull the quarterstaff away.
Occupied.
Well, it's just a shame that mimic is a hat rack. And I just walk.
You walk away, heading into your room, opening it. Sen, you're 100% sure you fooled him.
They haven't seen me.
But I go around the corner just enough to see if he might move or something.
You stand there for about you wait about a good 20 minutes of standing there staring. He doesn't move an inch. As you kind of go into your room after another hour, coming back out and looking, he still hasn't moved. Jumping back over to...
I'm almost impressed.
Jumping back over to Domnander and Bardris back in your room. Domnander, as you're kind of working this quarterstaff, practicing your hits on the dummy, not trying to make massive impacts, just moving about and focusing on your technique. Bardris seems to continue watching as he seems to kind of peer up from this invisible book that he seems to be still miming as if he's reading and opening it.
I cannot say I am the most intelligent person around.
That's true.
I am crafty, but I'm not familiar with magic in these things. I, however, am not blind. I'm very observant. You're clearly
That's not true.
Something parallel to our world, or perhaps in our world, but in a different place. You know things, which means you are helpful for what I need. And he like kind of sticks I don't know if it's like one of the training rooms where the floor is kind of sandy, or if it's just
it looks to be a stone floor for the most part, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he'll just set the quarterstaff down to like turn and address Bardris. I have a mission I'm on, you could say.
I know.
A few, of course. You likely know about it.
Yes.
So I'll skip the details and the meaning. I require all the information you can give in regards to gemstones that can hold souls or be powered by them. I can't find anything anywhere, and I need to know. It's important for later on.
Well, firstly, you should stop lying to yourself. You're not cunning. You've already failed at the first mission you had. You let the Jakix get away after he took all of Regan Utham's magic from the city had set up to invest in his magical population. And you failed to kill him. You also failed to stop Bolov from setting up the attack on Regan Utham with the gloom poison. So, be honest, you're neither cunning nor intelligent, and as far as magically capable, well, that's yet to be seen. Some more futures you might become magically capable, and others you don't. I'm surprised you're not in this one, given the failures you've given. It's not often we see violence, the monk variation, if you will, of that has failed this many times. But I understand, as he kind of just seems to focused in as he looks at this book, and goes, I hope you don't take offense to these, but I tell you this out of a kindness that I hope you'll understand going into the future. You overbelieve in yourself and you will die. My own party did it. I did it. That's how I got my head chopped off and turned into a big old divine battery. It was not a pleasant future. But to your answer, and to your question, as he kind of takes a second and goes, I need you to do me a favor to be able to answer this.
What is it?
He mimics as if he's turning this massive book and goes, see where my hands are holding this invisible book to you?
Yes.
Put out your hands and ask your question again.
Domnander crouches down to be better at level, holds out his hands in the same way Bardris is, and repeats again, I need you to give me all the information you can on soul crystals.
As you say this, you feel the book itself suddenly in your hands. This book that feels like it's almost built for a giant. As it's you get a full move your hands around it. Your eyes seem to almost roll back into your head, or it feels as if your vision is clouding as you can't see anything. Suddenly, you begin to see a massive expanse of what looks to be a continent that you've never seen before. No trees, no forest, no grass, just sand everywhere, and the occasional color of red and black ooze kind of moving about. As you look about, you see a long black-haired with a purple and red-eyed, short, like 1 foot and tall individual walking around with this weird contraption of pipes and other pieces of metal all up on them as they walk about, sucking up this ooze into what looks to be a contraption on their back. As they do so, they seem to kind of look over at you, and you see you feel the strangest familiarity, but also a fear. Give me a will save, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can do. See if World Anvil's not happy with me.
Don't trust Avery tonight. It almost killed Saturday Party.
No, I'm not rolling. I'm trying to get my will save bonus, but the website's not wanting to load.
I feel that.
Here, I'll just
She's being kinder to Sunday chat.
Well, I don't know what my bonus is, but I just got my nat 20 finally. So that's a will save, 26.
All right. As you manage to not become frightened, you see as this individual's eyes seem to almost begin to glow a bright red. Their body starts to expand out as these pipes tear off of them. The dark leather that looked like they were wearing that covered their entire body from top to bottom seems to pull and tear apart as this almost bright crystal-like dragon seems to appear, slightly translucent, looking down at you, and you hear as it stares. Well, actually, wait. How tall is Dom again?
He is 16'9".
Looking up at you. My apologies. As it roars a mighty roar, and you see what looks to be this thin pipe kind of come out of its mouth, and fire expand out as it then retracts back in down its throat, and the creature speaks and goes, "What do you ask? You who seek the soul stones do not understand them in your age. You who seek the ultimate knowledge do not yet deserve this information. Seek a different question, or watch your mind turn to mush."
I think Down Under hearing that and sensing this figure is not, to put it blunt, fucking around. Will ask, what do I do then to be able to get this knowledge and survive? What makes me worthy of it?
Kill the Zilpip as the easiest way and the most efficient. Steal his information and all of his knowledge. But if you're finding yourself not capable of killing a god, I recommend instead that you focus on studying the kobolds, learn of their origins, find out the truth of their territory. That'll lead you down the direction you seek. Now be gone, child, for I am not the one you yet seek. He still stands on a ship somewhere else. As the vision kind of fades away, the clouds kind of almost enveloping around you as you feel yourself almost losing your breath and not able to speak, shout, or even breathe. As for a moment you find yourself almost starting to asphyxiate as you pull away from the book, your eyes kind of coming back into the room, seeing Bard just looking up at you as he pulls the book away from your hands and he kind of looks up at you and goes, well, now you know your answer. Hopefully.
Not as enlightening as I hoped, but far more useful than everything else I've found. I consider this our deal paid in full. Okay. I will uphold my end now.
He nods and goes, I appreciate that, and I apologize. The book is known to kill most of those who try to ask questions of it. I must be honest with you, I fully expected you not to survive that encounter. You must have already met him in this timeline.
Am I still, like, holding, quote-unquote, the book?
You're not. Your hands are removed from it.
Okay. But I imagine I'm still crouched down, like, kind of to his level. Right. Well, perhaps I am more cunning than given credit for in this timeline, or whatever you say, huh? And, like, kind of stands back up a little, a little bit, not cocky, but sort of self-assured, at having gotten what he could get. But, yes, I know who to speak to next once I meet him again, and seems I'm on far better terms with him than you are. It kind of chuckles a bit.
I should probably warn you of one other thing. Before you think of planning what you're going to plan here in the near future, I want you to remember the very piece of important information for me when it comes up. Before I met you, I traveled with a group called the Ironheart Merchant Company. When I was traveling with them, I cut down an assassin that was trying to kill them. The next time you run into them, ask them about why they were so afraid of me and that assassin. That'll help you plan for when this situation becomes appropriate, and you'll understand in that moment. But for now, I shall retire back to my barrel, as he kind of smiles, suddenly kind of breaking his grimace as he looks at you and goes, if you need anything else, I won't be in the barrel, but I'll be down in the bottom, in the storage.
You plan to sleep in the storage?
I don't plan to sleep with you. I'm gonna be honest. You're kind of not really my type. I'm gonna be honest. A little too tall, dark, and handsome here.
Donder gets the urge to roll his eye and then kind of chuckles at the last bit. I simply want to make sure I'm holding up my end of the deal, and you feel you are given hospitable treatment. Well, if all you require is the storage room, by all means, it's yours to have for now.
Well,
and makes like a gesture towards the door.
I'm not asking for brothel treatment. I just wanted to make sure I have somewhere to sleep and not be eaten. You giants don't eat people in this world, right?
I have not been known to eat people. No.
Oh, thank God. You never know when it's the cannibal world. He kind of turns with his book in hand, his big book on his back, kind of strapping it on, and then walks away. As he heads out, going, and you see as he kind of heads out of the room and goes and sits down next to, or on one of the beds next to the hat rack, and kind of just puts his feet up as he sees the hat rack and starts to roll over and immediately seems to fall asleep, snoring, leaving you lot, are you alone? As
He also sees me staring at the hat rack.
As you, yes, well, I imagine as Dom comes out, they see you kind of just sitting outside, slightly outside your door, staring at the hat rack.
Dom, I am locked in.
Ned? And kind of like arch a brow.
What?
What are you doing?
I'm gonna catch this hat rack moving. And I point at over in the direction.
Do I see?
Give me a
What
search.
do I see?
Give me a search check.
Oh boy. Sure, it can't be like a spot check.
Nope.
Damn. Okay. I swear, if I, the person who's always looking for things, don't see this. Oh my god, this dice is just not happening. Oh my god, it keeps.
The dice tower
Okay.
rebels.
Rolling over the dice tower, I did finally get it to agree. 18.
18. As you look over, it's a normal hat rack.
Oh.
Perfectly normal
Yeah,
hat rack.
well, you're waiting for the hat rack to move.
Well, I mean, the thing behind the hat rack, technically.
I was warned about if I wanted to live to avoid the hat rack. So, perhaps, Ned, you staying away from it for now is wise.
Ned, do you turn your head to talk to Dom, or are you keeping your eyes on this hat rack?
Oh, I'm locked in.
Okay.
You can't see the troll?
Troll? Do I see the troll?
It's a really thick log hat rack with what looks to be someone was stupid enough to nail the hats in, but it's a hat rack. I mean, it's what you'd expect someone to build.
I see a hat rack that doesn't actually function correctly because the hats are stuck to it. And I see our guest until we reach our destination, and I see you.
Maybe Otham needs to get you some glass.
You hear Bard just kind of pipe up from his bunk and go, I don't see a hat rack or anything more than a hat rack either. I don't know what you all are going on about, but please, some of us are sleeping.
Ned, I think, I understand the news about your grove has been hard, and I don't know how you perhaps coped with it. Just don't stay up all night, and I'll kind of pat Ned's shoulder and just go to walk up to where, Eider is at the top of the ship, see how he's doing with getting the boat, the ship to run.
Yeah, as you head up, kind of walking past, as you go past, Ned, do you, watch Dom head up, or, do you eyes locked stay?
Away.
Okay. As Dom heads upstairs to Eider, as you've been kind of working with, you finally figured out how to get the pipe to stay cool, as one of the pipes seems to have a little blue coloration on a small, what looks to be a single pin at the opposite, or on the opposite side of your vision from the seat for the pilot, looking at this thing. As you finally figure out that one is what keeps this thing cool, managing to get the rest of it, you've got a rough understanding of how to get it moving. Keeping it moving is now the question in hand.
Excellent. I flip to chapter 2.
It's the chapter that doesn't involve explosions.
I would hope that's chapter 1. If it's not, it sure fucking should be.
Chapter 7, the warning chapter.
I was like, oh, shit.
Do not,
We should have covered that earlier.
do not start half of this with fire giants on board. But yeah, Dom, as you head upstairs, you see as Eider is still working away, reading through the little notebook, as I imagine some of it seems obvious, but also I imagine just like any true mechanic trying to figure out how this duct tape car works, you're looking at this and swearing up and down at the original maker.
Yeah, because like it's imagined like just a constant barrage of like, yeah, that's obvious. Oh shit, never heard of that thing before. What the fuck is this? It's just like vacillating, like no in between.
Yeah. Yeah, dumb as you walk up, you see his Eider's working hard at hand.
I'll walk over. It kind of like, I imagine there's such a big height difference. I don't have to like lean that far over to like look down and see what he's doing. So I'll stand like like giving him space, but clearly like near him to talk. Is the book useful? Is it assisting?
Yes. Half of it's infantile, and the other half are saying words I've not experienced before, so I'm having to read it slowly, slower than I'd rather, considering half of it's damn useless.
Do you think we are going to be in danger of exploding soon, or is your skills has this under control? As he like kind of looks around at all of the pipes he clocked earlier and is like looking to see if any of them seem especially too like bright, like they're heated.
Well, I can at least tell you that we're not going to die from overheating. As far as the rest of it, well, that's why I'm making sure you're to read it.
Very well. Do you require assistance with this, or are you better left to your own devices?
Likely left to my own devices. Unfortunately, you can't
Very
learn
well.
for someone else.
I will check in later to see what progress you've made. For now, I think I will continue making sure our ship's in good condition and ready to run. Also, question for the DM. I know Ned was given it. I don't know where it's put. Where was the like chest that Greg gave us like as payment? Because he gave us payment and like because we turned out the vassalage. Where?
Yeah,
is
I
that
posted that in
'Cause
chat a
need to
while
make sure
ago.
that's-
Let me scroll up. God, you guys talk a lot.
I want to make sure we know where that thing is. And
In
it's
between
secure,
weeks.
and it's not like in the open on the deck of the ship where anyone can grab it.
Oh yeah, I just got a new axe.
Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, Ned's chest. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we have not split that up among the party, I don't think. But is it just like on the deck of the ship right now?
Assumedly Ned brought it with you lot, with the carriage and the dire wolf.
In storage.
Okay, good. Ned, you did store it, correct? Somewhere safe?
I mean, it's in the storage dock.
Who knows?
I like that you're answering in character. Okay. As long as that's safe, then I don't need to worry about it. I'm not gonna like sneak cookies out of the cookie jar or anything crazy. Yeah, I guess Don Hunter will probably stay on the top of the ship just because he's not confident with how confusing and ominous Barges has kind of been that Eider won't run into issues, but he's gonna give him space. So yeah, I'll just do whatever I'm able to do to make sure the ship's ready to go.
Okay.
Once
Yeah, as
it's
you
been baby proofed.
as you kind of find yourself looking about, kind of giving Eider a bit of room and heading in towards the captain's quarters where you see a desk kind of set up. As you just to give space and kind of watch, as well as it gives you a good view of the staircase, being that this is a roofed-in area, and the staircase itself goes all the way up top to what looks to be like a submarine hatch at the top that you have to like pop out of. As you kind of stand there watching, we're gonna jump to Ned for a moment. Ned, you watch as you kind of staring at this thing, and as you just blink for a moment, the hat rack seems different. And as you look at it, it's now leaning in on itself. As you kind of stare harder, there's nothing there now behind the hat rack.
You guys would hear from all the way upstairs. God damn it!
A few moments go by, and as you're kind of watching, give me a spot check, Dominander.
Oh, okay. I was expecting that to be a roll for Ned. All right.
I already checked Ned's bonus. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. This isn't ideal for me. I didn't end up getting a great roll, but let's see. Scroll down to spot. I only got a 13 total. I'm
Okay.
pretty busy prepping the ship.
As this individual, or as nothing kind of going on, you kind of watch Ida working about, moving about, getting off the chair, looking at some of the pipes off to the side, hitting a couple of them with some of his tools from his crafting belt. Kind of working about unscrewing things, modifying a couple things as he realizes there's some things that he doesn't care for, doesn't need to be done. You watch as the carriage is almost seemingly brought down or dragged down. Well, not the carriage. So a chest comes getting dragged down the stairs. There's nothing seemingly dragging it. As you watch the direwolf itself, that was part of dragging the carriage when you guys were in town, come down through the hole as well, and kind of starts walking about, heading down below deck, kind of following below. A few moments later, you watch as the hatch reopens, and then and the cart itself seems to be almost slightly squished in, as if something large has grabbed it, pushed it together, and brings it down. As it slowly goes down the staircase. But again, you don't see what's doing this. It just seems to be happening.
So I saw the chest
Yes.
being brought downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
With on
By
the
nothing.
wagon, full floating.
Just floating in the air.
Is it the chest?
Mm-hmm. It is Ned's chest that was left on the carriage outside of the ship itself. As that wasn't brought up before the end. Yeah, that was never brought before the end of session.
Okay, good. I thought it was being dragged from out in the ship. No, it's being brought down in. Donder notes that it's being brought into the ship, which is helpful task, but also is very aware this is an invisible person, and no one in the party he's aware of can become invisible. And he's going to immediately let out a bit of a sharp whistle to get Ida's attention. And is going to gesture and start immediately beeline it after. Not too fast. He's trying to be not sneaky but not loud, but he is immediately on whatever this trail is.
As you follow after this individual, Ida, you watch as Dominander kind of points out, you see the cart almost getting squished and pulled down below deck. This is strange, even by your accounts. That was a fully normal, just wooden cart that just got, from what you saw, was being squished by something big and invisible. As Dom seems to be going after it.
Or begin fluently cursing in several languages, and just kind of as stealthy as Dom is, God rest their soul. Ida is not. Is just ruining all those attempts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hear just clang, 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 clang.
I love that I'm this big giant, but I move in such a way that allows me to be quiet as I walk, and then you're just a little guy scampering up.
As
loud as
As the two of you kind of follow after, you watch as the cart gets almost dropped about halfway down the stairs, expands unnaturally. Ned, as you you're still staring at the hat rack, knowing this individual's got to come back. There's no way they're not going to. So you kind of go to rest your eyes. Give me another spot. Give me a spot check.
All right. I rolled a nat 1 for a 9.
As you go to kind of close your eyes for a second to blink, the hat rack is back to fully standing, and you can see the individuals in there. He's back.
Moved. The hat rack moved.
But as you say this, you hear the sound of wood smacking into wood as the sounds of like wood kind of being pushed and the kind of grinding against itself as the cart got left halfway down the stairs to the second floor, between the second and first floor, as Domnander and Eider came chasing after.
All Domino cares about is where the chest and the wolf are.
The wolf looks to be, as you look about, you don't see them, but this cart now blocks the entirety of the stairway. It's now basically stuck.
Is there a way to climb through the cart?
You can climb over it, but it looks, it's gonna be a tight squeeze, given this is not, the stairway doesn't expand, magically, when your feet aren't on the stairs themselves.
Mr. Magical Hat Rack, could you move the block? And I pointed up the steps.
The hat rack stays silent.
I thought I'd get it. Damn.
That's just a hat rack.
Can you fit through the cart?
You wouldn't know. You can't see it.
Either as you look down, you're pretty sure you're wearing a lot of gear, but besides your gear, you could probably squeeze through.
It's gonna make a hell of a racket.
No offense, you've already made the hell of a racket.
Alright, well, cover your ears. This is gonna suck.
He climbs over. Give me a bit of a climb check to see if there's any issues.
I don't like that at all.
Shit. I'm not saying that someone would put explosives in your cart.
That's mostly
because...
okay. Let's see. Because it doesn't factor in armor check penalty for the climb.
It does not.
11. It's an 11 before the -8, so 3.
Can I assist if I'm helping him, like climb on, like I'm holding the cart or like doing things?
Oh, the cart's he climbs up onto the cart. It's just him kind of pushing himself through and moving things out of the way to avoid his armor smacking into things, himself getting caught. It takes you, either about a good 5 minutes of, like, pulling things out of the way as your bits of your belt get caught, something on your armor gets caught, one of the pipes that you had taken apart seems to get caught in a wrong angle and seems to stick itself and you have to back up. It's not a front crawl. It's rather awkward as you continue to pull yourself through. The cart slightly feels like it's continuing to be ready to move and head down, but doesn't seem to give way, thankfully, underneath you. As you finally, after 5 minutes, pull yourself all the way through to the other side, seeing Ned kind of I imagine now standing by the hat rack, kind of looking to see if it's going to move to go help out with the cart.
Yes.
Okay.
Getting, like, crawling through the attic kind of vibe.
Yeah, basically, with heavy armor.
Just absolutely drenched in sweat.
First thing you see is Ned just all up close on this hat rack inspecting.
Ned, it's just a hat rack. What are you doing?
You can't see it either?
I just, like, walk up to the hat rack and just, like, slap the hat rack. Like, it's just a hat rack.
Oh, no.
Nothing seems to happen. The hat rack doesn't even seem to move. It's solid.
Although, I, like, take out, like a tiny crowbar and just, like, start undoing the nails.
As the little, like, nobleman's hats and the commoner's hats fall to the ground.
It was a really dumb hat rack. Shouldn't handle those things in.
I think I need a nap.
Well, right now, we gotta figure out what's going on with the cart, Ned.
As you look back at the thing, at the hat rack, you can see the two beady eyes of the troll staring at you with a smile on its face.
I wave.
You watch Eider as Ned just kind of waves at the hat rack.
I close my eyes because if I can't see him, he can't see me.
I just assume this is another one of Ned's Nedisms.
Making a mental note for later, yeah. Yeah, as you two turn towards the cart, heading back over towards it, it is good and stuck in there. As you look at it, you'd guesstimate that if you took it apart, you could probably get it unstuck, but that's going to require probably a good half day's worth of pulling pieces, trying to undo awkward screws, given how tight everything is kind of pushed in.
Yeah, that's what I was not figuring. I just like yell back to Dom past the things. I can probably like break it down, but it's gonna take a while. Other than that, this thing's well and truly stuck.
I would prefer not to break our only cart in case we shall need it. Can I make some kind of check to... Oh.
I would say suddenly behind you, Eider, you notice as a shadow kind of peeks up, and you see his bar just kind of pops up like immediately behind you without making a single sound, and goes, "Oh, hey, do me if you want this taken care of. I can take care of it. Take moments. I just need you all to do me a single favor, as it's magic that I can't have any of you knowing."
I'm gonna need you to explain what you mean by take care of.
Just bring the cart to the bottom and make it so that way nothing's broken or have to be taken apart.
All right, and is the favor just to not watch while you do it?
Basically, close your eyes and turn around. I'm a little shy, performance anxiety and all.
Kind of shrug and say, "Oh, will save me about a half a day's worth of work, and I still have to figure out the rest of the airship, so I'm for it."
Somebody should really make a pill for that problem.
For what?
He looks at Ned and goes, "There are many routes that actually work for that. I'm quite familiar myself, if you'd ever like to try."
Oh, Partridge.
He smiles and looks back at Dom and goes, "Domnender, I can do this, but again, this will require your assistance as well, turning and closing your eyes. I know that might sound suspicious, but if you can't trust me, this is going to cost you more than you'd wish to lose."
If I didn't trust you, you wouldn't be on our ship still. As he, turns around and closes his eyes.
You all feel as something almost like something kind of wraps around your head. As you feel, feels like something quite sticky as you kind of put your hand to it. Almost like a bubble has come around each of your heads as it fills with black ink, covering your eyes, making it impossible to hear or see as you stand there for a moment. As panic starts to set in, Sen, you see as Barges just turns to you and goes, "All right, back to what you were doing. Hurry up."
I scurry off to do what I PM'd you.
As everything goes, a few the cart.
I do not leave Hat Rack. I leave as the Hat Rack.
As the cart seems to vanish, being pulled down, a few moments go by, and you feel the bubble dissipate. The black ink seemingly pulling off of your bodies down onto the ground. This wet and slimy-like feeling from it as it drops. The cart is nowhere to be seen.
Odd question.
Yes.
But it makes sense for my character and what my character is wearing. Although I am deaf and blind, can Dondra try to focus his senses to feel what's happening via vibrations?
Yeah.
I don't imagine he wears much on his feet, especially in warmer climates, and he's, as you would know, especially tuned to things, kind of...
Yeah, give me a spot check.
On the ground, vibrating, moving, So, I would like to try to make sense of what's happening, and if I can feel things going in a certain direction just through, vibration.
Yeah, give me a spot check.
I don't know what check did you say?
Spot.
Okay. I'm tossing it right now, guys. God damn it, Dice Tower. Alright. That will be a 19.
19. As you take a second and try and focus, it's strange. You don't sense any. You'd expect you feel the presence of the four individuals you normally would, or you'd expect, that you saw a moment ago, yourself included in this. But as a fifth set of footprints appears, you feel the vibrations of it coming from the ceiling above you almost. as they seem heavy yet quite quick. You feel the cart start to pull away and down as the vibrations kind of drown out almost everything else as it goes straight down to the bottom deck. As that stops, you feel those vibrations seemingly coming back up the staircase. And this seems to happen almost in a split second of speed. As it does so, you feel as the bubble dissipates and the inky liquid kind of pulls away, dropping onto the ground off your bodies. As Bard just kind of smiles and goes, "All right, that should take care of your cart and everything else. Your dire wolf is already situated down below."
So Dominic felt the footsteps, or the vibrations of footsteps, go very quickly downstairs and very quickly upstairs.
Yes, but on the roof of the stairs.
Interesting. So like on
Like
top of
spider.
where
We're
we
talking
are?
like Spider Pig. Yeah, like.
Oh, okay. Dominander
Like
looks up on the ceiling.
As you look up, you see a hat rack.
On the ceiling?
Yep.
Hanging upside down?
I told you.
Hanging upside down.
I don't know who or what you are.
Bard just looks at you and
But
goes,
I'm
"That's a
assuming-
hat rack, Domnander. You don't want to bother with it."
How close am I to
You
Dom compared to...
literally warned me about the hat rat earlier.
I did.
know you're...
20 feet above their head.
I whisper right down. I don't think you see me, but if see me, I have to stab.
Does Dominander catch that?
Give me a listen check, doll.
I was gonna say, I did get a 19, but yeah, listen check. I can do a listen check.
The rest of you who are also trying to catch us, go ahead and give me listen checks.
Oh no.
No, I'm still preoccupied by keeping us from blowing the fuck up.
Why is he here? What is he?
I rolled an
What does he
11.
want?
11, okay.
He got his split of the payment, buddy. Why are you here? I got a 14 total.
You do hear as this individual seems to say this, as both Ned and Dominander hear this, Barger seems to kind of speak up and goes, like I said, I think we should leave the weird hat rack alone. It's a magic item of mine that likes to run around and do as it needs to do. It's think of it like a sorcerer's servant, except mine's not a bat. It's a hat rack that quite fails at being a rack for hats.
Is your hat rack here to help or harm
It can't
us in our things?
It can't harm you if it does, as long as you think it's a hat rack.
Yes, but what is the hat rack? What is the purpose of the hat rack?
Oh, he is a individual to keep me protected and alive. It's just some security in case of. I'm not very good when it comes to like making things move. As you can kind of see, I'm a scholar. I'm not physically built to like, well, pick up carts and move them, or take care of things. So, my hat rack is part of the curse I have that kind of follows me around. Unfortunately,
Does
once someone
your
finds
hat
out what it
rack-
is, then it'll turn into the true beast of what it is, and it'll have to kill everything, including myself, which would be very unfortunate.
Ned all
The
of a
hat rack
sudden
needs
looks
room and
very
board.
horrified and runs into his room.
It turns and
Does
runs.
it need fed, or is it going to take care of itself? And Dominator
Oh.
says this with like a very exasperated tone, like he's already accepted this. This is the situation.
It eats on its own. Just to ignore it and lock your doors at night, and it'll leave you alone.
I look at Eider. What's our buddy doing? How are you reacting to this? Ned ran off in terror.
I popped the book back open and been like half listening to the conversation and says, "The crazy man that speaks about prophecies is just probably not the sanest person to keep questioning about this stuff. We either accept it as it comes or we kick him off. That's about our options. The more you try to understand him, the worse you're going to be off."
Right. I would just heed his advice about locking our doors at night.
I would, but I
Anyway,
can't go to my room.
suppose I'll- Oh. You We'll find a room for you.
My
I'm sure.
my only advice is when my hat rack speaks to you, pretend you don't hear it. Is the best option. If you start speaking back to it, well, unfortunately, last man that did got turned into a hat rack. Except that one didn't move too much.
Right. Shall we head back to the deck? And I say this to Eider and make a gesture, just completely over this.
I just got a nod and
Not
start
gonna
shuffling.
Yeah, I will escort my friend up the stairs back to what we were doing, and just assume things are fine.
Yeah, as the two of you head up, Barges returns to his bunk. The head rack returns to, hat rack. Head rack might be more appropriate at this point. Hat rack returns to it where it was earlier, picking up the hats that were taken off and re-nailing them to the board. But as the two of you head back upstairs, leaving you alone for leaving you lot to yourselves and to work about the ship and kind of do what you can to figure out how it would run. Over the next couple hours, it manages to go quite quickly. Let's just have Altair. Altair, wow, Altair. Man, I'm thinking because I was reading Alar for a second in my head because I saw the A and I'm like, oh, of course. We've been doing shipping names for his new character, vestiges, so it's got me completely off. Eider, as you go ahead and give me a use magic device roll, and let's see how long it takes you and how efficient you are at flying.
Sure. It's been about an hour, so I imagine I can probably have bound my other soul meld because I didn't have one
Yes.
start of the last session.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take the liberty of doing that. So between the +4 and that, I end up with a 18.
18. And what's your does your new soul meld give you a different appearance at all, or is it not very noticeable?
It's not very noticeable. It's just like a pair of spectacles, little wire rimmed glasses.
Okay. As something that looks like I imagine what you would pull out of your crafting kit at this point. Many of your tools are already set up. As you kind of go about with the glasses on, working about and reading through the book, tinkering with the pipes. As the time goes on, and what'd you roll exactly again?
18 total.
18 total, nice. The ship starts to almost come to life. She almost gives a loud roar as you manage to turn a couple of pipes, moving a couple of switches. Things seem to come to a bit, and as you start to move the wheel forward and backwards, she seems to almost respond perfectly, kind of raising her up a little bit up off the ground. As you kind of pull up with the wheel, it almost naturally pulls the ship itself up. Barges kind of seems to, down in his bunk, though not seen right now, can be seen. It would be normally seen smiling as the ship starts to kind of move and sputter to bit. As you hear the door above open, you see as Kesnanok walks in, kind of head covered, full thick cloak on, and goes, "Oh, perfect. I'll be in my room," and heads kind of down to the second deck.
I just look over to Dom for a moment, frown and say, "Is giant puberty longer lived than most?"
I'm not aware of that for fire giants, but Kez is, from what I understand, mixed of two giants, so perhaps when you are 2 times of giants, it is a little delayed in growth. I know he's having a hard time with things lately.
I just kind of nod and keep my peace.
Yeah.
As you kind of get your ship up and moving, you see as the what looks to be a couple of wizards down below at the end of quite a long kind of a bunch of large ports that have been kind of boosted up by these towers to basically allow the airships to somewhat hover off the ground, not kind of scraping the bottom of the ship, so that way they don't get cut up. As a couple wizards, seeing you lot starting to move forward, start to wave about what looks to be flags. Some at the very end start to chant, and as what looks to be a large magic circle starts to kind of get powered, starting to shine. You watch as a large portal opens up, expanding out big enough for an airship, and as you see on the other side, it looks to be just open, snowy skies.
All right.
Well, next stop, a
Oh,
totally
boy.
different climate.
As you say this
Yeah,
going
Tom
forward.
is beginning to layer his clothes again.
Yeah. As you go charging forward into the portal, as you come through, you see as this massive city comes into view. Let me see if I can find the image again real quick from before. Yeah, here we go. Seeing these, this kind of almost on the mountaintop, kind of around the mountain itself and into the mountain, a bunch of long houses with thick granite walls, that kind of come together in a massive pyramid where you can see many vents heating out little bits of what looks to be fire and steam kind of blowing out in certain areas. Much of the village or the city itself, though, still looks to be very congested around this main singular pyramid that leads up to the top of the mountain. The rest of it seems to kind of slowly be expanding out with a couple houses dotted here and there. Though as you look about, kind of following with another airship that is going in front of you, kind of diving into a mountain, you find yourselves porting inside the mountain itself, where the city kind of expands out. Many houses stacked inside what looks to be large hot springs, or large bits of water kind of flowing throughout the city itself, with hot springs kind of flowing out. Though noting that there are no what looks to be plants or trees or any vegetation growing amongst near the water. The city itself expands out in front of you as you look about, coming to kind of a stop at the port. One of the other airships kind of that stops there. You see, it seems to have a massive golden heart on it. As you see what looks to be a snowbeard getting off of it. You recognize the symbolism almost immediately, either as the Golden Heart Merchant Company, ran by the clan of, or by the individual known as Zarius of the clan of Zarius, a well-respected noble amongst the Snowbeards, and specifically a distant cousin of the Treasure-Horn family.
Well, if we need to buy anything, we might have some luck. I gesture towards the large airship outside of the window. Distant cousin of mine, and as you can see, fairly affluent.
We didn't meet your cousin, I don't believe, but we met the others of them already, actually. I've been keeping brief letter correspondence with one of them. It would be fun to talk again.
You see as the individual across as they're deboarding seems to notice you. They're slightly about 6 foot tall, very muscular individual wearing what looks to be a mix of what should be thick plating, but is kind of almost spread out, not naturally fit to the individual, as their body seems to be a little bit too big for it and expanded out for it. Comes kind of seems to notice you a lot, looking over you. The secondary individual, being this knight, like I mentioned, seems to have 2 large horns and a dark, like bluish skin. The other, though, looks to have a very thin mustache kind of curled up, a small dwarven figure with their white mustache, very white skin and golden eyes. They can give you a slight smile as they seem to look over towards your ship. Even from here, it's easy to see a small golden tooth gleaming in their mouth, as they seem to almost recognize your guys' ship for some reason and seem to head over towards you lot.
Yay. Friends.
As you kind of deboard, Bart just kind of smiles as he kind of helps himself with his hat rack, who, kind of scurry off into the city, dissipating and throughout the city as they leave, without even really saying a word. But as they do so, and the rest of you kind of get out, or start kind of getting out and deboarding, you watch as Zarius kind of sits there waiting for you at the bottom. As you kind of come down, he looks up and goes, excuse me, is that Ida I see?
Oh there, cousin. How you doing?
He smiles. He goes, not bad. I've been hoping to get a meeting with Regan Utham. I found out one of my associates apparently did some terrible deeds to the country, and I've come to at least try to make amends. Good relations and all amongst Greg's Marathon's merchant companies.
Well, you might be in luck. We seem to have a passing acquaintance. For a certain amount of a discount, I imagine we can make a grand acquaintance for you.
I mean, I'd be happy to. What can I offer you? I trade in pretty much everything these days. Exotic animals, metals, slaves, rare goods, anything you could need.
Well, we found ourselves in possession of a new airship. I imagine I need quality tools. Something better than just a standard forge, especially being able to work on it. Hopefully, we have room for it. We'll talk details and plans this might later, I imagine. Other than that, the standard sort metal, good metal. And I imagine my companions might have something to say as far as anything they might be obliged to try and grab.
Ned looks at you disgusted when you say metals.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, Ned. They also probably have some good woods as well. Have you heard of mahogany?
Mahogany.
I have heard that's a good one. I'm a fan of cedar. Dogwood's pretty good too.
Yeah, Dominander's thinking the same exact thing in his head right now. He's not saying anything to interrupt this deal making, but he's thinking that.
Well, to be fair, if you paid attention to what I was saying, I promised nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this goes. If he goes. Whatever you need. I mean, to be honest, these days I've been looking for any family, and I could always use some good contacts. If you lot are able to get me into contact with Regan Utham, I'll say 50% off of anything I have of offer. Any services I can offer, I'm happy to offer the same discount. I think that would be more than fair in exchange. I will apologize that my associate is not with me to perform any evil outsider role that many frost giants like to use. But beyond that, anything else I can offer.
Are all friendly dwarves here? I don't imagine we'd be needed any of the brimstone.
Are we? Are we all friendly dwarves?
Zarius is evil. I will let you know that outright. You are getting... And I'm not talking the good kind of evil, where they're just chaotic for chaotic's sake. I'm talking, yeah.
He's a card-carrying evil deity.
No, you're not getting deity off of him. I'll give you that. I will say, you'd be able to get that much magic immediately off of an individual if they were that powerful.
Oh, thank Christ.
It's pretty hard to hide that level of magic capability as an individual, even as you saw with the world leaders and them tossing off 5th level spells like it was candy.
Yeah. But, I mean, it sounds like he's a merchant of death. I don't imagine it's that unusual, but, well, needs must. Not going to indulge the evil part of it, but we can have some good things that we accomplish.
He kind of nods and goes, Well, as you wish to do business, let's do business. I've got some work I have to meet with a individual. There's a dwarf in town that I'm speaking to. Crazy fella, but he gives prophecies. He's a new vassal of Regan Utham's, I guess. I don't know. But I appreciate as he kind of waves and kind of turns and starts walking away for a minute.
I just kind of nod and says it. I'm afraid I think I have to leave you here. Got to finish docking, signing whatever bureaucracy nonsense they've got going on.
He nods as he turns and starts to walk away with his guard. Alright, leaving you lot alone. You do see as the area kind of opens up, or as you look around the area, a couple of businesses seem to be kind of scattered further into town, but the port itself seems to be still very rudimentary. Only about having room for about 6 airships in total, 3 of which are currently taken up including your airship yourself. As you look about, The town further up the mountain, although there's a large staircase to kind of climb up, the wind doesn't seem to kind of thankfully hit in here, but the chill of about minus 30 degrees starts to kind of hit as you lot stand around. Kesnanok waves to you lot from the window of the airship, deciding to, as clearly shown, not come out of the nice warm airship.
Don't know what he's on about. It is perfectly comfortable outside.
Domnander and Ned, who I imagine are slightly chilled. Ned more than Dom, as Dom's a little bit more used to this.
Yeah, you kind of have to when you live here for so long.
But as you look about, a few moments go by as you're kind of working about the ship, getting everything tied off, and talking to one of the dockmaster, who seems to be a pretty kind giant, though not someone that kind of catches your eye too much. What looks to be a young, or one of the younger soldiers, Dom, who you kind of recognize roughly, but face doesn't remind you of anyone. As you're kind of having a moment to talk with the individual, finishing up getting your cart all latched up to the dire wolf, you see as a familiar face comes walking down the street. The half stone giant, very thick in the shoulders, very kind, right hand of Uthim, known as Hroten, the individual who you lot last recall did business with when working about getting Kesnanok's weapon, as well as, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think anybody else got an item from him off the top of my head.
I think it was also Kez's armor.
Might have been, yeah, at the time. You think you cut out? Where did you cut out, Dom?
Yeah. You were literally saying something about Uthim's right-hand man, and then it all went quiet.
Remembering Hroten, the individual who had made Kesnanok's weapon, his warhammer that he now carries around, as well as his armor, the craftsman who had made out of monster parts some items for the party. He was, if you recall, the stone giant guard that you had, I believe Dom had trained, or tried to train with for a bit while you guys were in town at a certain point.
It wasn't Dom, it was Caleb's character.
Oh, that's right, it was Oldham.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because he did he was doing
me.
the circuit.
My apologies,
Yeah.
But as this individual comes walking down, now no longer wearing their usual thick armor, just what looks to be simple leather jerkin, what looks to be commoner's clothing, and what looks to a very thick kind of apron that they put in front of them to cover up a little bit of splatter of what looks to be some sort of liquid of something you're not familiar with immediately, as it kind of blends into the apron itself. He kind of as he comes walking down, smiling. He seeing you, Dom, seems to kind of break out to a jog, jogging up to you lot, almost a bit quicker of a speed, and smiles as he goes, "Domnander, it's been too long, my young man. How you've been?"
Remind me the name spelling again for my notes. Sorry, just real quick before I roleplay.
You're good.
Okay. I know I have it written somewhere. I just literally can't, for the life of me, find it. So Domnander, the party would see, like, one of the first few, like, genuine, wide smiles from Domnander, who also jogs to greet Hroten, and I assume they have some kind of friendly, like, bro arm clasp or some kind of greeting they do that he'll exchange and go, too long indeed. Minus some more of the concerning recent news, I'm doing well. I'm not dead. I'm not starving in the wilderness again. I'll learn from that, Been kept well fed.
I heard you. I heard you lost poor Aldrin as well. And I heard you picked up some sort of slave, a dwarf that you bought.
No, not a slave. I don't fully know the whole details, but he's here with us now to assist. Craftier type. Works with metals and smithing. Seems like something we could use. I don't fully know Aldrin's need to leave, but he seems to suggest he is still working with Utham in some capacity, which I was all right with. I have my reservations, but those are personal. Kind of like waves a hand a bit.
Oh, well, Regan doesn't tell me everything, so I don't know much. I thought Aldrin was dead from what I was originally told, but I heard news that he'd been spotted recently. He's been going about the territories through Greg's Maritom's lands. Something about he got involved with some gentleman that was claiming to be some powerful wizard's son. Ah, poor kid. That's beside the point. What are you lot doing here in Velkomen?
I don't know how much you've heard about the meeting with the world leaders, and if so, I'll.
Oh, I heard
catch up
about
to speed.
some poor fool apparently managed to piss off Greg's Marathon by devouring a spell of his. Apparently, it's had him up in a dizzy the entire time. Something about wanting to either turn the individual into a statue or kill him outright. I feel bad for
Just
whoever
look
did
over at
that.
Hyder.
Yeah, side eye. A lot more subtle than that, but some obvious side eye. Yes. There was revealed to be necromancers within the world eaters there. A undead servant was discovered as part of the plot. First Papul was arrested, seized. I don't know what is happening with that trial, and he'll lean in now to whisper to Rowan. I uncovered some information that I'm sure Utham is privy to, but there are those there planning moves against him, assassination. It's troubling.
Yeah.
I'm kind of.
With world peace, I think I expect it. It makes sense. There's not gonna be any more wars outright, and that means world-hungry leaders who want more land can only kill now in the back shadows. There's gonna be plans left and right. He kind of looks at Eider, who's trying to whistle terribly, like, as he stands off to the side. And goes, yeah, I guess, not all of you are as brave in the face of danger as others, as he kind of smiles. But, with that in mind, I recommend enjoying yourselves. I will tell you, the leader of this territory, quite crazy. But for the time being, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave my son with you, as he kind of shoves a small, very tiny frost giant, who's actually, well, tiny. He is the same height as Eider, and he is he is the equivalent of a 5-year-old in age.
Oh, Downlander looks a little bit, not upset, but like there's a little bit of a furrow in his brow, and he's like, I wasn't aware we would be babysitting? Kind of like looks at him to see if this is the case.
He's not the brightest kid, but trust me, he's better than you think in combat. He's he's already trained better than most. He looks young, but he's my oldest boy. Him and Regan Utham should be roughly, let's see, about a few hundred years apart, but they're born on the same month. So.
How old?
He's I should mention he's not frost giant blood. His mother's a dwarf, Snowbeard. As you can see myself, I'm a half stone giant, so he got his mother's height, but he got my strength.
And you want us to take him with us to fight?
More to keep you lot alive, and keep an eye on you.
Well, that's just hurtful.
Well,
At least while you're in the city, I'm not asking you to take him on I'm not. If you're going monster hunting, leave him please here. I'm not. That's not the point here. I want to make that fair. I'm talking about while you're here in town.
Okay, good. I was very concerned about your practicality as a father.
I would never send my child.
Okay, I'm just glad we're on the same page.
Local guide to ensure we don't get into too much trouble with this supposed crazy leader, which I'm not looking forward to dealing with
Regan Utham's
lots
got
of that
him.
lately.
He's got him held up with paperwork. You're never going to see him. But as far as it goes, there's a guild in town that'll take you up if you're looking for work. I'd recommend sticking around for a while. Regan Utham has stated he's not planning on any expansions, and there's a lot of work. The new territory we're planning to send more people towards, to build roads towards the Kobold territories. Now that there's going to be a new leader assigned to the territories, we're going to need people hunting monsters and looking for work around there. But feel free to get a look around town, get yourself some supplies. It's going to be a bit of a journey to go that way, so. Nope.
Right.
There's no
Well,
portals that way, as
it
they
was-
say, as he gives a chuckle.
It was good to catch up, and while we're in town, I'm always free to chat.
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out Dom.
They killed Dom.
The Dom.
No. I spoke. I
Welcome
was saying
back.
things. Okay. I'll just repeat what I just said.
Yeah, it works.
Donna looks at her and goes, well, I'm in town. I'm always free for us to stop and catch up, but you know me, I'm always business first, and we do have business to attend to. Might be a while before we talk again.
He nods and goes, some advice. We had some other adventurers come through and get killed for this. We've got the Granaga Academy is being built. It's open to the public as far as it goes. Anyone's welcome. You can't take courses unless you are living here for the time. But the book and library setup, half the people here can't read, is fully open to the public. So feel free to explore it if you get the chance. There's a lot of monster carry logs since we live so close to the collective of Pyrus. Thanks to Regan Utham's request. By the way, I do have a question. I've been waiting for an individual. There's supposed to be a stout fella coming through these parts. I don't know if you had seen him. Brownish, gingerish beard, dark-skinned. Talks a lot of nonsense.
Oh, yeah. He was on her ship.
Yes.
Was?
Brought them here.
Oh, you brought... well, then that takes care of that. He's probably going to go find Regan Utham himself. Alright, well, that saves me the time. I appreciate that. I'll go let Regan Utham know and hopefully not get yelled at for missing an important guest. Oh, as you see him turn and walk away, leaving the young looking frost giant, more stone giant like, with their grayish skin, standing about equal eye height with Eider there, as they are wearing what looks to be normal commoners' clothing, a smile on their face, and a very blank stare as they just look at you a lot in between the three of you.
Did we get a name? Like,
He
would
did-
Donna
He did
know
not.
a name?
He did not give a name. He just walked away.
Well, if I've known Hiroten, would I know his oldest name? Because if
Give-
the oldest
give me an
is close to
intelligence
Utham's
check.
age, they might be. I was gonna say, if the oldest is close to Utham's age, they should be around, if not older than me, potentially. You just said a base intelligence.
Yeah, because you don't have the knowledge for it, so.
Yeah, 15. Okay.
The DM
Can
secretly
I-
passes Domnander a note.
Yeah, can I sense motive? You know, my most iconic role.
Yeah, on the kid standing here kind of staring at Eider.
Well, I don't know if it's too late to do it on
Wrote and walked
Rowan,
away.
but- yeah, so definitely the kid is also who I'm most, yeah. Mother. Okay. That's only a 7. Oh boy.
Kid looks to be competent. Looks to be short. Yeah, stone giants are short. Dwarves are short. Could be a mix. He's a bit stocky. Other than the fact that, yeah, Roten doesn't have any kids, kind of blank in your head. Nothing else about him seems suspicious in the slightest. The blank look in his eyes looked like there's no one home.
No one home. Donander is going to look at Iter
Hyder just stepped away.
Do you mind? Oh.
Wrong. Wrong time.
Sorry, I caught you were talking
Right,
to me
I've
just as I was stepping away. Would you?
I was gonna say, Donna looks at you and will go, "Aye, sir. Do you want to make the same request of our friend that you made of Bardris earlier when you first met?" And kind of subtly runs adjust his shirt collar, like his own shirt collar.
You on the child?
He just looks at you.
I just kind of rub my face, looking at Dom for a moment and say, "All right, that one was because he was a strange individual that snuck aboard our ship. To be completely honest with you, I don't sense any evil on the child." And that's really one of the precursors. Well, okay, never mind. One second. Do I sense evil on the child? Because this is gonna get real weird real fast.
You do sense evil on the child.
Oh, fucking shit!
Yeah, dude, Down Under's passive spidey senses are tingling. You trust my gut instincts, motherfucker. Sense evil on this.
I look back over at him no, of course the child's not evil. Look at the child, the child's evil.
Ned slowly raising the bonk stick.
Down Under's just continuing to look at you intensely.
You see the kid just kind of looks at Ned and then looks over at Eider and then looks at Dom Neder. You can go if you got a feed kit real quick. You're good now. And he looks about you and goes, I guess I should admit I'm not technically Hroten's son.
What?
I technically am Dan's son, but Hroten took me in. Dan's the mayor of the town, but he's crazy as shit. I mean literally, he is so beyond crazy. He speaks and dribbles. He designs things that melt people's faces. He's just weird.
Well,
The trait doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? And
I
Ned
don't.
looks at him, kind of concerned.
Can you put your stick down? I don't want to be bonked in the head.
Slowly lower the bonk stick.
I need to make this clear. I was just told to follow you around while in town because of the fact that it's a new town. We've got a lot of mixed races here, and we want to make sure that you are treated appropriately because it's not like Hrimpurser's Last Hold, which is mostly frost giants. We have dwarves here, we have crystal giants here. Many races come through these parts, and so I was partially asked to hang out and make sure you were treated fairly, and partially make sure the dwarf didn't, as he looks down at Eider and goes, and make sure he doesn't do anything that he would get him into a lot of trouble or make him a target.
Look, to be fair, I was about to get enslaved in the middle of a world congress of leaders.
That's the kindest thing that could happen to you, given what I was told that the Toth leader was talking about in quiet hushes behind the bars. You don't want to know what he revealed in the prison.
Oh, there's a reason why I don't go anywhere near the Toth without precautions.
You will have to understand our caution if you've heard of our recent travels. We do need to check you for marks. If you are to be escorting us. And you are free to do the same. I have nothing to hide in ways of that.
I will politely refuse, but I will introduce you to the mayor to prove myself. I will not be removing or showing you anything.
Didn't you just say he was crazy?
Well, it's your choice. You can either take me at my word or meet the crazy mayor. Which would you like?
It is not hard to lower one's shirt collar. The circle we're looking for would be rather big and obvious.
Give me a diplomacy check to see if you can convince him.
I would say, if diplomacy doesn't work, I'm switching into intimidation, baby, because this is sus as hell. Will I strong arm a child? Yes.
I will say,
but the child's probably my age.
While Dom's doing this, the hat rack has just kind of appeared sitting at the back of you lot, just sitting there watching this entire thing.
The hat. Where's the hat
I look over my shoulder and then quickly glare.
Don't acknowledge the hat rack.
I get closer to
right. I look down at the ground and just stare at the ground.
Oh no. Oh, I shouldn't have rolled that dice. That
What'd you
wasn't
get,
the right
Dom?
dice to roll for this. I got a. Unless there's a way for me to get advantage or a boost from the allies, wink wink, nudge nudge, I got a 9.
As
really
Eider
good.
and Ned are trying not to look at and acknowledge the hat rack that has suddenly appeared once more,
Wait,
you are left
wait.
on your own.
Yeah. Sorry, it is 9. I thought it was slightly higher.
As you are left to kind of stammer out this request once more, though the hat rack kind of catching your eye as a threat for a moment, and then looking back to the individual, you see the kid kind of look at you and go, "Okay, you've left me no choice. I'll go get Dad, but you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be the ones upset about this, not me." As he turns and starts walking up the street.
Which dad? The mayor or Roten? Because I can deal with one of those two.
Craziness is gonna be fun.
Well, he does realize we don't have to follow him,
He-
right?
yeah.
He says this to the party as the kid begins to walk away.
Yep, the kid just walks away, leaving you guys standing there.
I mean, to be honest, we're not under any responsibility to look after him either. We could just leave.
From what I gather, he was sent to watch us. So technically speaking, if we do get into trouble and he wandered off, I believe he would have failed his duties. I don't want Houghton to be mad at me, but he should know I would be highly suspicious of this, and I don't know if it was actually Houghton.
I just gotta yell down the street at the kid. Is like, you know, you're the one that's supposed to be watching us, right? We don't actually have to follow you. And in fact, if we get in trouble while you're gone, it's your ass on the line, not ours.
You see, the individual seems to stop about a good half of the street block down. It kind of turns, sighs, and then you see them stare at you for a minute, and then they come walking back, kind of stop and pause, and then as they come back over, go, "Well, I've alerted Mother, so she'll probably let Dan know, and that'll be unfortunate for you."
I mean, we're really only seeing you not doing your job.
Oh,
I don't know how this affects
and Ned
us.
just runs down this direction.
Yeah, you better go catch him.
wait, what? No, I'm not. No. He kind of looks at him run and just kind of sighs and goes,
I run to the east. Whatever the road closest to the east.
Look, it's part of growing up. You have to know when to hold him, when to hold him.
"Oh, he's running towards the White Dragon areas that have been guarded off. I'm not really even concerned. He'll be dead in a few minutes."
But your job was to look after us, so...
"Well, look after you in the town. Leaving the city is no longer my problem. Once he leaves through the walls, you see you watch Ned go running through a very obvious sign of a dragon with a warning sign on it as a cave hole opens up.
I'm waiting for an answer, Tom.
As I say, as Donalder's calling for Ned, I'm approached
Yeah, no, I
by
don't.
the hat
I
rack.
think Ned would get to the gates and take a right. Be running
And
along the wall.
I
Okay.
hear the hat
I
rack.
ain't that dumb.
Okay, making sure.
Okay, good. As I hear the hat rack, I'm gonna side-eye it, but not look directly at it. So, if one were to hypothetically wish to hire a hat rack, how much would the hat rack want?
Depend on what want to.
Do you offer services only in guarding, or do you also assist in combat?
Hat rack assassin.
Interesting. Could you keep an eye on someone for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even talking to the hat rack. I'm talking to the air around the hat rack. I'm not even looking at the hat rack.
No, but the kid's looking around at you, looking at you, talking to this, and looking back, trying to figure out where Ned's going, and then looking down at Eider and just shaking his head as this is going on. Ned, as you go running around one of the corners, you see as a very bright-haired, blonde, bearded dwarf kind of comes walking around one of the corners, carrying what looks to be a thick walking staff of that has little gems kind of pushed into it, almost unnaturally. His eyes kind of lock with yours. I need a will save in the background.
Alright.
Oh.
19.
Player found him.
Ned, have you ever been on a bad trip?
I mean, plenty.
Ned, your mind is suddenly finding itself on a bad trip as you find yourself almost going into a madness as you look at this individual. Kind of almost falling over as you come clumsily to a stop. Your eyes kind of looking at, kind of going cross-eyed, slightly looking forward, as you begin to trip massively.
I scream about a giant spider chasing me and start sprinting the opposite direction.
As you start like getting all fours, just running with all you can, bear clawing your way back to the party. All right. As we jump back over to Domnander and Eider and the hat rack, as well as the child who's just kind of looking at this, watching this now happen.
Who? Yeah, I would say is watching me speak to the hat rack, I assume.
Yes.
I'm debating if I want to whisper this or if it's more of a power move to just say this out loud.
The kid goes, "Why is there a giant troll behind you, Domnander?"
You mean the hat rack?
Hello.
No, I mean literally at your back. There is now a troll standing right behind you.
Anyway, as I was saying to the hat rack, how much would it cost you to trail us and ensure our new escort is all in order and who he says he is, and to help us should he not be?
Me, now not in the hat rack. I just look at Dom from behind and look at the others. And I'm just like, me not hat rack.
Eider, as you see, do you want to describe what Sen looks like?
Undersized.
Sen is a 10-foot tall, red and pink, like randomly colored troll. If you'd know it, he's a breed called a Fey troll. They're usually slaves. But yeah, he's 10 feet tall. He has a very large bow on his back. He's wearing like a light armor.
As well as
Carrying a lot of magic.
Let's say wearing a lot of necklaces.
Don't worry about it. It's not important that he's wearing 5 necklaces.
Also, Sen, are you evil?
Not today.
Alright. Eider, your detect evil does not go off today on this one.
No, but in all seriousness, I'm not evil.
Okay. As Domnander makes this request, though, as you turn and look, Sen, what are you doing? What do you say?
So what hire Sen for?
Dominar's gonna like see the troll now is just like really fighting the urge to face palm at this. And we'll go. You said you're an assassin, but I'm aware you were doing other work for Bardris. I want you to escort us, ensure nothing foul play happens to us from the mayor or his kin while we're in the city walls.
Send to escort. Sure.
All right. What is your price then, friend?
You want Sen only in town on quest 2?
I'll look to the only member of my party who isn't on a bad trip right now.
And still standing next to you.
In the distance, you guys see me go the opposite direction. Holy shit, the spider's after me!
Could Sen deal with that first?
Could you grab him for us, I guess?
Yes.
Yes, good negotiation.
Yes.
Sen sprints at 220 feet a turn towards Ned.
As you
I
catch,
only do 120 sprints, so you got me.
yeah, as you easily go running up and catching up to Ned. Ned's eyes are like flashing different colors as he's like
I am
staring.
even more mortified.
Ned, you see as this small spider just like disappeared and appeared in front of you from the distance. Like it was almost like a immediate teleportation as it grabs you.
I want to corral him towards his party as the spider. Like a dog.
Oh, so you're trying to lead him, like herd him over? Okay.
Yeah.
In this bad trip, do I slightly recognize Sin at all?
No, you see, all you're seeing is a spider.
It's a really bad idea to grab someone during a fucking bad trip.
It is. You just see a really fast, like red spider come at you, like a teleporting over to you from like a quite a distance away, and then immediately in front of your face, as it looks like it's trying to catch you.
Yeah, I think I probably am just gonna pass out.
Sen, as you catch, like immediately appear in front of Ned as you sprint as fast as you can. Ned, just as he sees you appear in front of him, almost out of nothing, saying this, immediately passes out, dropping into the snow on the ground.
Sen just stares at him for a minute, and then just looks over the others and gives a thumbs up.
I just like flash a thumbs up back. Honestly,
I look at Ida.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Nah, you first.
Yeah. Fine then. Have it your way. Thunder will look at Arthur and go. So, do you want to ask if Sen will escort us on quests? You didn't meet him, but he was very helpful to have during our mission with the mercenaries. I do have concerns for the party's budget, depending on his price, but we did recently get a pretty penny from Greg, so...
I want to put out a very noticeable thing, because it's not exactly rollable safe. Sen is physically larger than he was before, like, stat-wise. Like, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
He's,
I gathered that much.
He seems to have gotten very imposing.
If I'm being honest with you, I think it would be better if Sin just kept an eye on us. Given, and I gestured towards the totally not what's his face's kid.
It's totally normal.
The totally not evil child.
Yeah.
Kid looks at you blankly.
Considering what he said about the Toth and well, a few other things, I think having an eye looking out for us that's a little more inconspicuous might be for our benefit. And to be honest with you, that benefit goes away by a little bit if they're front and center.
I wasn't thinking front and center, but you do prove a point. Having him involved in our quest also brings the concern of splitting pay and other things like that down the line.
I mean, I'd like to have him around as far as that. I don't suppose you have any good feelings towards the Toth?
Thunder kind of looks at you, seems to think a moment, and then like fairly quickly though is shrugging and shaking his head. I've never dealt with them.
Cool. I turned to this and...
Oh.
Sorry, continue your statement.
No, go for it.
If you see any, while you're under our employee, if you see any Toth, and I just like hand across the throat motion.
You see, you watch as Sen and kind of drags Ned back. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, Sen kind of drags Ned back over. The two kind of finally coming over back to the party. You watch as the kid looks about to eat all of you. There's a little bit of sweat dripping down his face as this seems to happen kind of as he seems to rest his eyes on Ned.
Never mind, stand corrected. I was just reminded of something. Lore-wise, I forgot. Dumbledore is not fond of the top either.
Yeah.
At all. Just want to make that fun. There's also a grudge held there too. Anyway, continue.
The kid
So,
looks to each of you, kind of waiting and still wait and looking now at the acid tripping Ned.
So send bring you to get quests?
just keep an eye on us. I don't think you need to come with us on the
We
quest.
don't need your help with the quest unless we decide otherwise, and we will make another deal for that. We simply want you to follow us discreetly, keep us safe, inform us of any foul play, sabotage, assassination attempts on us, or attempts to capture us, or anything against our will, and things of that nature.
And if you don't mind, kill any Toth you see.
If you charge extra for that, I concede to it, those wages are tended to. As Domnander begins to pull out his coin pouch.
I just nods. I don't have a single problem with that.
Sen just kind of stares to wait to see what you pull out of the coin purse.
Domnander waits to see what Sen says. So are we just staring at each other right now?
I want to put out here, you are Sen's first client that's not a world leader. He doesn't know pricing.
Oh no! Wait, can I roll like a sense whatever check to see if Domnander knows this?
Yeah, give me a sense motive to see if you can tell how
That he's green.
Well, actually, he's red and pink.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, green into being hired could totally kill you very quickly.
I was gonna say, I got a 22.
22. As you look him up and down, he seems to be waiting for you to name a price for the quest. What you can gather. Kind of thinking back on it, you realize the contract terms for the mercenary work you had done during the Siege of Adventure's beginning. It was all stuff that was already filled out. There was no like information you needed to put in other than signing your name.
Send, are you someone who charges per day, or is there a set amount of time we can hire you for?
Sen usually work for depending on objective rather than time.
Then as long as we are in the city, then.
Yes. Sen may dip away randomly to do things, but yes.
Can Thunder, with that sense motive as part of it, determine what Sen's like? I don't know how to say it in character, but gauge what his level is, like what his skill, his power, his capabilities are, because that
would be more around the lines of like profession mercenary, knowledge. I mean, you could give me if you've got something.
I'd argue for gather information would be technically applicable.
Yeah, gather information. I'll take that. Yeah. So either profession mercenary, profession soldier, gather information. One of the three.
I mean, wait. Profession. I have profession monster slayer and squire. I don't think those.
I'd take monster slayer. I'd take monster slayer for this.
Yeah.
No.
I am a monster
I'll roll
hunter.
That then. Well, I still rolled ass 7.
Well, we tried here. As you
try, boys.
As you look him up and down, Sen definitely looks capable. From what you recall, from the mission that you had fought, though, thinking back on it, Sen did most of the work during the attack on the barracks. You know Sen's capable, and as he was sent with you lot as a single individual, where you were a group of 3, kind of give you it pretty much puts the perspective in that he's at least somewhere around a mid-ranker as far as a mercenary. As far as level you'd get, you know that they'd be a couple more than you. You can't really tell too much beyond that.
Cool. I'm trying to determine. I think Downunder's trying to think. This through. Do we have an idea how long we'd be in the city? I imagine.
That's up to you entirely.
Quite a while. Yeah. I imagine our goal would be to be here
The kid
quite
kind
a
of looks
bit.
at you and goes, there's a casino out here that might be, it's been proposed for construction in the city if you'd like to stick around. Gambling dens are, I've been hearing, have become very popular in the Eastern Territories.
Mm. I said, how does I'll suggest like this, and we can negotiate from here. How does 1,000 per week sound? Too little for you? I'm not sure how active your services are. If you are willing to also gather information for us while you're here, I will up that price.
He's
Let's
just standing
send-
here watching this whole thing, by the
Let
way.
Sen see if understand. Only want Sen to warn you about bad people and kill if things get really bad.
Yep.
As of current, yes, protect us and warn us about bad people and intervene if bad people attack. Yes.
Sen do favor, then like you from last mission. 750 per week, and if Sen kills somebody coming after you, you let Sen take things on person.
I have no qualms with that.
Yep.
Down under will offer a hand.
Then we'll shake hands.
The kid standing there listening to all this goes, you do realize wow, adventures are quite bold these days.
Oh yes, you're being replaced.
Well, my father's right there as he points over to the blonde snowbeard walking down with the bejeweled walking staff, standing about 4'9", very tight cut beard, very clean cut beard. Their eyes, one eye seems to kind of almost go dart about while the other one seems to stare straight ahead. You watch as he comes over and the kid kind of just bows down and backs up a few feet from you a lot as the dwarf walks up and goes full what looks to be golden thick robes, a very scholarly like design to them, almost like sorcerer's robes, as this individual kind of smiles and goes, my name is damn, that's it, yes, by chance did you see any birds on your way in?
Nope.
Good. So they're gone. They're not coming. The birds are gone. May I? What? Sorry, son. What?
Sen point direction.
He looks up and goes, "What? They're here." He kind of looks about. You see him like his eyes darting about. Both of them now kind of look, and you watch as he seems to narrow in his eyes on something far to the distance, and as his staff starts to glow, in the distance, a bright light explodes as a part of the cave entrance kind of caves in slightly, crushing a couple of frost giants beneath it that were working about the area. As he goes, "Oh, damn birds!" As he kind of like puts his staff down and looks back at you and goes, "I know they're always watching." Between them and the eyes, there's always eyes everywhere. He kind of looks at each of you.
Is this guy a Warren, or is he just magic?
As you look him up and down, he looks to be, he seems to have a decent amount of magical aura that you can already almost immediately sense off of him. It's hard to get a very good description, but you can definitely tell this individual is far more capable than anyone you've met so far in town.
Right, I meant, like, is he, like, specifically, like, the dwarven frost mages?
Oh, he does look like he's carrying a similar staff to what they would. However, there's something about the blondness in his beard, the more vibrant color that looks off.
Gotcha, because he's not, like, fully, like, whitewashed out.
Yeah. You can give me, let's say a sense motive or, knowledge.
A staple.
Knowledge Arcana?
Yeah, knowledge arcana I'd actually take in this situation to see, if he has a similar magic, or that he's using similar magic to what the war mages do.
Admittedly, spellcraft is also technically.
I'll take that as well.
Cool. That is 19 plus 6, 25 for spellcraft.
As you take a second, that was that looked to be an enchantment spell from what you can tell. That was not a frost spell of any sort. It was also higher magic than you've ever seen before. This individual just tossed out without a care. If this person's one of the mages from your land, from the Snowbeard lands, they are probably the most famous. They should have been the strongest undiscovered diamond in the rough. Utham found a very powerful sorcerer or wizard of some sort, as you've never heard of an individual that looked like this, that could cast like that.
That's concerning.
He just goes, now, where was I? Yes, you are, as his eyes focus suddenly in onto Domnander and goes, Domnander, correct?
Correct.
My name is Dan, that's my son. I hear you lot have a problem with my son. There's a nasty troll here. You know you trolls aren't supposed to be in these parts yet, right?
Sen kind of just cocks over.
The
Like,
troll-
Pardon me, sir. That's a hat rack.
Hat rack?
Oh, he's a slave. Understood. My apologies. My rudeness. And I assume the one on the ground, would that be Ned? Regan Utham spoke of him. He has a thing with butchered animals. Don't serve him meat, something of the sort. Or is it serve him only vegetable meat? Or is it meat and no vegetables? I think it was meat and no vegetables. I'll keep that in mind for dinner. He nods and he goes, good, perfect. You lot are welcome amongst the town. This town is being built to welcome in scholars from across the land. Regan Utham has asked me to oversee it. You are welcome to spend your time in here. If you see any birds, you are to report those immediately to me. Beyond that, enjoy yourself. See about the sights. Enjoy the quests.
Every time he mentions
like us
birds,
to-
Hootie nuzzles itself more into me.
Yeah, kind of a little tucked into your armor a little bit, I imagine. Little pocket inside your moss covering.
Ned starts to kind of come to, wake up, looks at Eider, looks at the kid, and then looks at the blonde dude and goes, "Tiny spiders and Spider Master? Oh my god!"
Oh, Brenda.
Nope.
As Ned goes back out.
Oh,
Dan looks about and goes, spiders? I don't call spiders usually. Interesting. Anyways, I am, Dan, if I didn't say that already. Did I say that already? Has that happened yet? Domnander, enjoy yourself. See the guilds and meet the people. The woodwalkers are quite capable. They may be a good group you want to meet with, especially with your new airship. I can't help but... He holds out his hand in front of him and goes, if you may, can I see your hand for a minute, Domnander?
I don't like this. What does he need my hand for? Sense motive? Can I sense motive this man? He is very chaotic.
God damn it, sure.
Can you sense motive him without wisdom damage?
That is the question.
It's not sense motive. It's like predict.
Predict insanity.
But that's not a thing. Predict insanity. Yeah, that's not a thing. So that's the best I have is to try to determine if it's
I will say you are trying to understand a morally insane person, and I don't mean like he's insane like as in edgy. I mean like clinically he is insane.
I'm saying if anyone can with the sense motive checks I've been making, Domnander should have that skill. I've sense motive so much. My aptitude, if it's not good enough now, it will be in the future.
It's gonna be Dr. Holmes by the end of this.
Oh, that was actually a good roll. Okay, 24.
Give me a will
Dom
save.
puts on a detective hat and lights up a corncob pipe.
Yep. Give me a will save as you light your pipe.
Oh shoot, where'd that lucky dice just go? I just put it away. I need that again.
Little English accent coming out.
Tom, I had no idea you had a pipe. Or that hat.
Oh, or an
You don't
English
wanna know where I
accent.
kept this.
Also, what the hell's in
Alright.
English?
Why are you
Alright.
calling me Watson?
Yeah.
Everybody calm down now, alright?
God damn it. That's good. Let's
Oh no, I didn't get a great roll. I shouldn't have fished for that dice. I got a 12.
see. Dom, as you for a moment start to grasp the thought process of this individual, you feel your brain starting to almost snap at trying to connect the same dots in the same way as this individual. You take 2 points of psychic damage.
Ugh. That's not good before a quest. Ouch. Let me adjust my HP. If World Anvil shall allow it, please.
Please, Lord Anvil.
What
Unleash to
Lord
take damage.
Anvil, I must take damage. The
When World
future
Anvil's
of
on
this
your
session
side
depends upon
and
it.
not on the DMs. It's listen, World Anvil's just trying to defend the players.
The World Anvil's like, Down Under, this is bullshit. You don't have to take that damage.
As Dan,
I-
go ahead. Did you get it?
Oh, no, you go ahead. I
Oh.
didn't get it. I was gonna say I didn't get to take the damage.
Dan kind of looks about each of you and goes, "You should take quests while you're here. You're not strong enough yet for what I should expect." As he kind of still holding his hand out, waiting for Dom's hand to come down.
Down Under, like you could see, Ader could be able to see him like visibly like holding his like the side of his head, like he's experiencing pain, like face not reacting, and he just, per the command, shows his hand but doesn't place it in Dan's. He was asked if he could see his hand. He can see his hand right now, and it's just gripping his head with a massive migraine. Having lost a few brain cells.
As he kind of looks at you, wait, kind of as you pull out your hand, Sen, what are you doing during this?
Making a landscape painting of the city.
Okay. Okay. Senna's turn has now sat down, is painting. Okay. Hey, assassins are eccentric, you know? Alright.
I rolled a 21 on my craft paint check.
It is
It
is becoming a beautiful art piece as he is getting just exactly the lighting of the darkness in the inside the mountain.
I think the
Then
noticeable
has nailed the drool coming out of Ned's mouth.
I
Yeah.
think the thing is I'm not painting
paint.
I am melting coins next to me and using them as paint.
Yeah, melting on his coins from his coin pouch and like painting, using that to paint it. Ned is fully passed out as the like front version of the pictures. The rest continues to be drafted up in the background. Eider, during this, what about you? While you watch this, these two kind of exchange.
I definitely want to keep an eye, excuse me, on the insane person. Also, I wanted to try and study his aura. Imagine I'd probably get stunned, but I feel it's worth trying to
He's a new alignment.
tear into it a little bit.
All right, let me double check something real quick.
Small man want know about troll medals?
Yes.
I got
Like-
attention.
Like immediately turned, like fish out the coins that the big brain gave me.
Yeah, ignoring as you kind of like suddenly are distracted away from what's going on, walking over to watch as Sen kind of begins to show you what he's doing. Sen, if you want to explain what the colors are, go ahead.
Okay. So when paint red, things go faster. As Sen shows his boots that are painted red. When paint blue, get very lucky, as long as believe. Gold, very rich. And me explain last metal later, because not using in this painting.
So everything Troll does is based off of colors.
Yes. When use colored metals, they do things.
like nod and like kind of gesture towards Sen's skin and say, "And what about skin? What's pink mean?"
No.
No, it
Every
doesn't.
every color not have meaning. Pink mean got stabbed by Faye when I was a child.
I like think about like for a moment, like just like say fuck it, go through it, and like pat Sen like on the bicep and say, "Sorry that happened."
It's okay. Want make you faster?
Sure.
Well, I guess I'm painting his boots.
All right. Go ahead and roll
I'm glad
a
actually I'm
paint
not faster.
roll paint check for his boots. We'll see how it goes.
18.
18. Either do you believe your boots are faster now that they're red?
Well, since it's been like talked to me, I am like I think confirmation bias kicks in. It's like just told me like this is how troll magic works. He's like about to do it, so I think this is how troll magic works.
As you
'Cause he's
feel-
fucking doing it.
As you feel him paint your leather boots this red color, at first you expect the metal to kind of burn onto your skin. Doesn't seem to make contact through the leather. It seems to like take to the leather perfectly as he does this. As it happens, you watch as he almost nimbly goes up and down the entirety of the boots. You begin to feel yourself kind of weighted down by the boots. The metal paint really starting to kind of take hold, and as he begins working on the other one, painting it, you start lifting kind of the first one curiously, and the weight is extensive. It's horrible as you barely are able to pull up. It feels like you're wearing metal boots, basically, now. But as he finishes the second one, you kind of try to do the step, you try to step around. You watch as the metal starts to glow slightly, and you feel your movement speed increase by 5 feet. Which is
I
a
run
huge,
normal.
I would say, which is a huge deal when you're a dwarf. I'm not gonna lie. You're slow as
I need
shit.
fast boots too.
But
You would
cutting.
notice
Give me the lucky paint fast
Okay,
before
Sen's gloves
the
are
mayor
painted
kills
blue.
me.
Yeah, as Senkid does this, popping back over to Domnander and Dan, as Dan kind of looks at your hand and goes, "Oh," and he kind of jumps up and smacks it hard. And as he does so, Dom, I need another will save. You're about to get a really
Did
big.
you give me a
Eh,
high five so
a
powerful.
low
it's gonna
low
murder
five.
me?
No, he just gave you a low five. That's about to give you a brain surge. Have you ever seen That's So Raven?
Wonderful.
It might be a little dated for some of you.
I have.
I don't think the rep part of I've only seen bits.
Well,
So
you're
not
you're about to
fucking
get a good experience here in a second. Let's see what your will save
Oh
is.
my gosh, the dice hate me. I did get I got a what is that?
Ned already tripping
A
balls.
whole 12 again.
Yeah. Okay. As you kind of as you feel the hand make contact, your brain begins to flash images in front of you as if everything kind of hits you at once, causing your entire body to lose almost completely control of your muscles as you collapse. Just as Sen is finishing up the last of Eider's boots, as you drop to the ground, Dan kind of looks about and goes and holds his arm up and goes, "Hey, just don't touch. Don't if you touch him, it'll happen to you too." As he tries to wait to expecting Eider and Sen to move.
I like
Since-
snap to like really like figure out what the fuck's going on and go, "What the hell did you do?"
I gave them a chance. As it jumps as we jump over Domnander, you see for a moment a prophecy of sorts as images start flashing in front of your head. First, you see these ice-like fey creatures with these surrounded by magma-like, similar-like creatures, and last one seemingly almost made of these thick-like slimes. Another image passes in front of your head. You see a wolf that stands tall at first, but then seems to shrink down to a small humanoid-like figure with a very burly beard, howling at the moon. The third seems to, for a moment, give you a viewing of some sort of beautiful woman, and it seems to have like a warning to it as you feel your throat being slit. The next seems to kind of pop towards, and you see the vision of a creature that seems to fly through the skies with grace as giant icicles drop from it as it surrounds this massive lake, seeing statues of what looks to be giant geese, made out of ice, on top, standing on top of a lake, surrounding a massive lake. As suddenly you find yourself coming to back to awaken, as you look up, seeing Dan kind of holding his arm out, waiting for holding Eider and send back. As you look up, kind of breathing in, finally catching your breath.
Are you all right?
This is the second time something like this has happened today. I am kind of over this. Can
Dan.
I stand up?
Yeah. Dan smiles as
Okay.
you kind of stand up and goes, I deal with that on the daily. Imagine those visions constantly, every day. By the way, you will need this. And he hands you a single arrow with a little acid vial at the end of it.
Ooh.
And goes, good luck. And turns and just starts walking away.
Can I identify what the acid is with my poison making?
Oh yeah, go ahead and give me a check for a knowledge poison making.
How small is the
Heck
arrow?
yeah, heck yeah.
It is large.
Intriguing.
It is not.
Is it the size of the bow I picked up from the side quest from the session I missed?
Yes, because that was a large bow.
Ooh, okay. Oh, green dice did not fail me. My poison dice didn't fail me. Nat 20 plus 23.
23. As you take a look, it is plain old acid. I'm sorry to tell you, you rolled perfectly. You know for a fact 100. I'm not fucking with you. I know it sounds sarcastic. It is 100% just a vial of acid.
Then takes a step from the vial.
A step towards or a step back?
Back. Away.
Okay.
Back, yeah. Downlander is just confused and will pocket it. I think he's too disoriented to notice Sen, but he's just like, all right, we need to go to the quest, like to the party, like wanting to get away from the situation.
Yeah, let's go do something productive.
Ned kind of finally awakening, coming out of his trip.
Ned, we're going to do our job that we're here to do. Let's go.
And what was that?
We're
I
about
don't know.
to find out.
You don't know. I don't think the questions will end soon.
Just get up off the ground, dusting myself off.
As you kind of dust yourself off, standing up, four of you now, Sen kind of packing away his painting to finish later. Four of you head into town. As you head into town, I'm going to post a picture to give you a full depiction. Because I think the one you stood with was this one, so...
It was the one you agreed looked the best, because I asked for your opinion.
Personally. So, as you kind of walk throughout the city, those small houses kind of spread out, with it kind of narrowing up inside this, and even inside the mountain, that kind of expands outside of it and encompasses the peak. These smaller houses seem to have a couple of a few businesses as you walk about the streets, well, streets in air quotes, the non-dust or snow-covered areas amongst the turf. As you do so, you see a business that seems to have what looks to be a picture of a set of armor posted above it, known as, it reads the word, and I'm going to butcher this, Yernar Bade? I think is how you pronounce that. I will post these in a minute. The second shop kind of catching your attention as you continue walking throughout the streets. You see what looks to be a simple potion vial kind of posted up with the name below it, Trilladric.
Yep.
Yeah, got that one right. That one's easiest. All right. The third shop, as you kind of continue walking through these streets, seems to be what looks to be just a simple compass-like device. Posted up with the wording of Vivisor? Vivisor? Vivisor. Okay. The last shop, of course, recognizing, and I'll post. We request. Oh, don't worry, I'm posting these when I'm done.
I think the last.
Yeah, as the last of the buildings, like shops that have kind of popped up, with many of the small houses kind of thrown throughout here, where villagers are and citizens are kind of walking about. You find what looks to be a shop that has a bunch of monster parts up in the window, bits of what looks to be water elementals, gemstones, pieces of what looks to be some sort of long string-like creatures. A couple other options. What looks to be a large, wide chicken that seems to have been recently feathered or plucked. You see a displacer beast completely cut open at the throat and basically sitting draining in the window. As you walk by, you see the name on the shop reads Sterk. As you walk by the window, you do recognize Roten in there cutting up what looks to be a large displacer-like beast. Having the same tentacles, but looking more hog-like as they continue working about. As you walk about town, there are a few other shops or businesses or areas that have been kind of set closer to the core of the city, where what looks to be the main academy pyramids up. However, the outskirts area where most of the businesses are set up, this is about all you find as you see the small town hasn't fully developed out yet. Let me post those names real quick for you.
I just have Sterk underlined a bunch as an important place to go in the immediate future.
It's fair. Don't worry, I promise I'll even list what they are so you don't have to remember beyond that. Because as a DM who used to be a player, trust me, names are hard to remember. I understand. That's why I write everything.
They are.
And for the reference, for those who are wanting to be reminded, this is the name of the town.
Willkommen.
Yeah. As there are, like I said, there is a central spire to the city where more of you'd consider the wealthier merchants seem to hang out, and most of the adventurers seem to kind of spend their time. Most adventurers being used loosely as people who are not tied to a country and do jobs intermittent for cities. Many of these individuals looking to be scholars, kept wearing more robes and lighter gear, not taking much to realize that these are mostly like magic casters that seem to kind of focus around this massive, the center pyramid-like structure. I will say, as you do get closer, you do see that the pyramid itself seems to be kind of focused on each of on three sides. A fourth guild looks to have been kind of abandoned and now been set up as more of an entrance to something else. But the three guilds that kind of corner each of these sides of the central pyramid. Dom Nender's currently trying to jump in and build this city in Minecraft. Good to know. All right. Hey, I appreciate the hard work.
Sometimes.
My players are dedicated.
I don't know why.
You see the name, the Frozen Brain Guild, and it's listed underneath with a symbol that recognizes as an adventuring guild. The Borealis Guild, that has a coin instead underneath it, giving it the sign of a merchant guild. And the Cold Thorn, which the last one as you walk past is, while most of the building's windows have been kind of cracked out and little vines are sticking out, you can smell from inside the scent of fertilizer what smells like fresh fertilizer being made as something seems to be processed. The sounds of heavy metal moving about and such coming from within. As you get to the fourth corner of the massive structure, though, you do find the entrance to the academy itself, Granadic Academy. Kind of peering in, not really going in yourselves as you see scholars walking about and kind of going in and out. They seem to follow up a couple of sets of stairs that go up to another level higher that bring them into the actual academy as it expands out further from there. I will post those now for you as well.
Incredible.
So that way.
I'm keeping a healthy distance from Dom.
Oh,
Ever since
does
they got,
Down Under notice?
I would think so. I'm not being stealthy about it.
I was gonna say I didn't know if you were like hiding and being discreet, or if you're just obviously.
No, I'm staying away from you as I follow.
Down Under will tilt his head and like pause in his step as the party's walking, still kind of recovering from the trip he had. Sen, well, what seems to be the issue?
Acid
Have I
deadly.
offended you, my friend? How very deadly?
Acid make us stop healing.
Contact? Why would the mayor have given me this? Down Under seems a bit torn. I don't want to discard something that we might need, but rest assured, Sen, I mean no offense. I won't use it on you. Feel free to keep your space.
Sen will just nod.
Okay. And then Dominic will kind of give a acknowledging nod back and continue walking with the party.
All right. As you kind of find yourselves circling back towards the city's kind of general open square, a well that's been set in the center, and a couple of folks who seem to be enjoying themselves out in the cold, as a little bit of snowdrift kind of rushes in from the mountain entrance above. As you lot kind of gather around a small fountain that seems to be pouring water out, with what looks to be the depiction of a very beautiful female elf that you somewhat recognize as looking almost similar to Greg's Maratom, from what you saw.
So how fast do you think Regan Utham is gonna tear that down?
Well, if in center of town is not Utham City, would he not put up himself? He kind of cocks his head.
I don't know. Dom, how vain is Regan Utham?
Publicly not, but never been here before.
Dominant.
Sorry, could you guys repeat that? I think I might have cut out.
There was.
Go ahead.
Good. Damon said there was a big statue that looked like the elven form of Greg Moritam. And Ider had asked, how long do you think it was going to take Regan Utham to tear it down?
Oh, Donalder's going to look at it and like scowl a bit because he didn't have a great interaction with him.
What a coincidence.
Not long, I should imagine, unless he decides it's not worth his time. I mean, it is Utham City, but Greg Martin is one of the biggest in terms of trade, so he will be around in a new city, or at least his image will.
Kind of nod. I turned for a second to Sen and say, Sen, I want to thank you for showing me your magic and for painting my boots.
Not Sen's magic. Troll metal just do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in any case, I just want to thank you for showing me. I'd like to think you're a friend. Is there anything I can do in return for you?
Not currently. Sen just like to travel.
Just kind of nod and say, "Well, if anything comes up that you'd like, I'm more than happy to return a favor." And either way, it's nice to have you adventuring with us, then.
Mm. And then Sen's gonna kind of look at the others and just look towards the guild, which we walked past, even though it's what they were looking for.
Yeah, like double back to the guilds. Like now that we've done sightseeing, I think.
Yeah,
Just kinda lay of the land.
as you head back to now, was it the adventuring guild you said you wanted to go for? Just to clarify. Okay, want to make sure. So yeah, heading towards the Frozen Brain Guild, you see as on one of the corners of the temple, or this large pyramid-like temple building, you see the windows themselves have been kind of replaced by what looks to be thick ice that portray what looks to be heavy and large frozen brains within that seem to be connected up with some sort of like black material pulling in into the building, the guild itself. Little lights that seem to kind of light up every once in a while, causing the brain to be put into different shadows and different colorations as it does so. As you walk in, though, the guild itself opens up and expands as the space almost seems to expand further than the actual availability of room in the temple. A almost 4-story building with a grand staircase pops out with going up continuously all the way to the top. You see on each level looks to be a desk as well as a person that's standing at the front wearing what looks to be a little a commoner or a servant's outfit with a bit of a red vest to their instead of the black coloration. An individual frost giant seems to be just kind of smiling each time as you look about. Going up the staircase, you can up the staircase. Each one you see has different layers of what looks to be groups of adventurers, some drinking on the second level and eating with a tavern set up on one side, the chef's area set up on another. What looks to be Rakshasa working about and chopping up food as they serve the adventurers who are calling and shouting out orders. As you head up to the third floor, you see the massive beds set out, kind of like an open barracks, basically, as adventurers have already been visiting the city, already kind of passed out amongst some of them. They each look to be just single beds kind of set aside. A single chest kind of put in front of them, it looks like, for security, but otherwise nothing much else. As you head up to the fourth floor, you see as the board looks with all the quests is kind of set up at the back wall as a grandiose design. Old quests that have been clearly torn down through the ages, still with their corners kind of peering up there. A couple of what looks to be almost like registration people as they stand at a table waiting, watching you as you come up, kind of stand off to the side as you lot find yourselves at the very top being the only ones. The first floor, when you had passed up it, I will mention, seemed to be closed off. The doors to the first behind the reception desk seemed to be completely blocked off with no visible way of going in. You didn't see anyone going in and out of it either as you headed up.
Place gives me the creeps. Oh well, to danger.
As you head over towards the quest board, you see, let me pull up that board again. God damn, how many times, where did we put it? There it is. You see the multiple quests. I won't read them off because you guys already know about them, but as you look them over, do any of them kind of catch your guys' eyes immediately?
Yeah, I like kind of clock on the Fomorian Queen quest kind of immediately. It's like, well, that might be right up our alley. The chest that we got from Greg's Morotum had a axe that's spiders and creepy crawlies and like will have a severe allergy to.
Sen narrows his eyes at Formian in confusion.
Have I messed
Something
up?
wrong, friend?
Formian no live here. Formian live in Buglands.
There's been apparently a sighting or a rumor. as like Dom goes closer to read the actual quest, aka I am looking back on.
Yeah, as you grab the quest, you read, as it says at the bottom, a little description, in, like, really roughly written common. I've been searching for a Formian queen for ages, and rumor has it that there's one within the lands. Please locate this and bring back the queen for the Formians, if possible, or the location at the minimum, with a confirmation of species. Reward a large fireboar. As you look at the back, it just says to be turned in or for information to be given to at the guild itself.
Very much.
Do you think this is false, Sen? They couldn't. I didn't imagine.
Sen never been here before, but Sen has fought lesser Formians, attack troll tribes sometimes.
Would they survive in the cold like this?
Sen, who's visibly shivering, not really paying much attention to it, but his body is still giving off the visible.
Prob not? Sen not really the book type.
There's a possibility that they burrow deep.
Oh, no go deep. No dangerous. For you. Even Sen would die if went deep.
Kind of nod and say, I thought they've set up against maybe a magmatic fissure or something.
There are hot springs and such in the area. It's not too unlikely they found something underwater that's heated and made a colony around it. If they're insectoid, I don't see how they'd survive the cold otherwise.
So you kind of take a look at the thing. You can give me a knowledge nature for whoever wants to try and figure out if these creatures could survive in this weather.
I can do that.
Can I try to make a different check? Also nature?
Do you have...
Just,
I was say, it's knowledge nature, or if you have, let's say, knowledge
no,
local.
I mean, like, I want to ask something else for me
17.
to make a knowledge nature roll for. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got you. What are you trying to gather? And I heard you. No worries,
Domlander
Ned.
in his time where he was surviving in the wilderness and like kind of observing wildlife, would he have taken note of like how bugs, like specifically bees and ants? Because I don't think he would know in character in the world lore what pheromones are, but if he noticed that like people who weren't like members of the hive or colony or looked like the hive or colony were usually attacked. Like I try to basically see if he can somehow reason out that if we were to disguise ourselves,
give me
like in Formian parts, if we could infiltrate. But I don't think that they are aware of what pheromones are.
So you're trying to see if, as hearing this, if you so you're trying to gather. Yeah, go ahead and give me a That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'll take knowledge nature for that.
Does he think he could trick? Yeah. Does he think
I'll
he
take that.
could, like certain bugs in the wild, infiltrate if they were disguised as Formians? Like basically, does he think big bug monster
I got you.
could trick like normal bug?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead and roll your knowledge nature for that.
Yes. I don't actually have knowledge nature as one of my chosen, like my knowledges I get. So is that just a wisdom?
It is, I believe, is knowledge wisdom or is it It is intelligence. So.
It's the one nature check that isn't wisdom.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, all knowledge skills in 3.5 are intelligence.
I actually got decent though, 17.
Alright, 17, thank you. Alright, I believe that's the same as what Ned said, so, Ned, as we'll start with you, as you think on this for the creature in general, if it could survive in the icy cold, thinking back on it, Formian queens, you're not familiar enough with the species itself, but you know that most ants don't do quite well in the cold. if this was a Formian queen this far over here, she'd be quite. I mean, she'd be probably quite more of a noticeable nuisance, looking for a heating source to stick around, meaning like hiding near volcanoes and such that would have, as Eider put it, magma sources or heating vents. But secondly, something that comes to mind is that Formians are a quite intelligent individual race. Most people have a hard time distinguishing them between Thri-kreen from what you would know. And that mean for that fact, it also means that they're not willing to usually go to lands that they're not comfortable with. Thus, either again, coming to mind that this creature would have to be very well adapted. Wouldn't make very much sense that the species would just have been recently found in here, as well as not for such a cheap price. For Dom, as you think for a moment, Dom, you think back on it, trying to concept if you'd seen any of these creatures. You remember seeing a small nest of Formians out towards the desert that you had spent some time in. Recalling that the creatures seemed to excrete some sort of stench that kind of was bothersome to you, as it was so thick in the air. And every time this scent came to be, you always found yourself under attack by these creatures in droves, as they seemed to relentlessly attack areas where the smell was pushed out. Based on that, you gather that these creatures are driven by scent, though. As far as the understanding of how that would apply on trying to distinguish yourself, the only thing you gather is you would definitely not want to smell like that scent, as you'd be attacked immediately.
I think we should do more research before we tackle this quest. Perhaps fulfill another in the meantime. But if I recall, Formians are scent-driven creatures. A smell will cause them to all attack you, but there's also then likely a smell that will make them not attack you. If we could figure that out, or at least how to block their ability to smell, we could perhaps, if needed, slip in amongst them into whatever is down below in the hive. And he makes like a gesture.
Being native to the lands they're from, what do you want me to roll for how strong a Formian Queen is?
For Sen? Just try and figure out. I'll take knowledge monster slang for that. As they're technically recognized as a monster race at this point in the world. They have yet to grow to enough distinguishment.
31.
31. As you kind of think back for a second, remembering studying these creatures in your homeland, Formian queens were like a plague on your homeland. There's a reason why Seiji was never able to set more than one city, and that's because of the fact where these creatures, like Thri-kreen, when they showed up, they reproduced in the hundreds of thousands. They're very noticeable and very invasive as a species. It takes a lot to kill them. From your experience, it took a small hunting party of 30 or 40 of the best hunters in the group. And typically, the expectation was only 5 to 10 were to come back. You would mark yourself nowadays as probably one of the best hunters amongst your tribe.
Around the level of one of those people?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the others. Would take 30 to 40 Sens to fight Formian Queen and Nest. And even then, only about 5 to 10 survive. So if Formian Queen would be much bigger uproar about finding here.
Yeah, they also don't really like to be out of their comfort zone.
So the queen won't ever leave the colony, where she'll be vulnerable unless we could flush them out.
Oh, Would I know the most important fact about Formian Queens?
My apologies, Ned. It was a 19. I think you're correct. Let me check. No, it was a 17. Okay, never mind. All right.
17, yeah.
I just had to double check World Anvil. Okay, I want to make sure because if I was correct, I was like, wait, that has a bit of information you actually really need. Okay, never mind. Go ahead with your question,
No, we got the
Seth.
19.
I'm gonna PM it to you.
Okay, no worries.
If needed, we could attempt to just locate the colony and get payment for the information alone. I don't want to go on a suicide mission, or something like this.
Other problem: finding queen. Live in large nest. Formian queen don't move. Can't move.
If there was a way to drop very deep into the hive somehow, a poisonous gas that would fill it, she can't move. Would the Formian Queen suffocate?
Formian queens, escape if needed. Other workers will pick up queen and leave.
But how structurally sound is the colonies? Would a big enough explosion
I will say,
or other force, we couldn't collapse the tunnels?
Sen, from what you would know on this outright, there's not like the tunnels usually aren't collapsed. They're just usually reused as cities for the trolls because they're very efficient. With that being noted, they are usually these nests are massive. Like I said, we're talking in the
It's like
sometimes in the thousands for the smaller end. Yeah.
Yeah. Sen, I'm gonna channel Sen's mindset here as a very simple troll, despite his decently high intelligence, and he'll look at Dom. If Formian Queen could easily be killed like that, trolls would have more cities. Troll only have one city because Queen's everywhere.
Oh, only one city. I wasn't aware.
Very big city, but yes.
Perhaps then later we should.
Many troll settlements fail because queens popped up.
I feel like there is still a way to combat this, but not one we, with our numbers or resources, could right now. I might be able to make something in the future, something involving my skill set in the stench, but it would take probably months. Perhaps we should take another quest and leave this to the side for now.
You want easy starting quest for teamwork? So look at Dom.
Let me peruse. Dom, personally, he's going to find, what was it? What's the one quest called?
Let's say, because Sen grabs Dire Situation because it literally says recommended for new adventurers on it.
Yeah, that one. No,
I imagine trying to not chuckle as he watches this. Big stamp that says new recommended for new adventures at the top of it. I know who knows this group individually are mercenaries who just took on a city siege, and they're taking the newbie quest here.
I feel like we're a little bit further along than that, but
it pays amongst the best here.
Simple quest, pay well, not very far away.
I am interested in what these amulets of mighty fists do, considering I am a wielder of fists.
Make punch good.
I just look at and nod and say, "Make punch good."
Yes.
I think Down Under pockets that quest just as I would like to do this one at some point, but if the rest of you agree, we can take the one Sen suggested. Also, Ned, for you to look at, there is one involving a wolf. We might need to capture,
Well-
you might be good for that.
Sen also recommend even wormlings sell for lots of money.
Sorry, what'd you recommend? Get cut out.
The dire hunt, because even a wormling would sell for a lot of money for parts.
Oh, does it not? It does. This quest does specify it dead though.
It's dead. Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, even a wormling, if you chop it up, people can make things out of a wormling body. You could sell that to a blacksmith.
I was also, for
Oh.
the same reason, wanting to do the Mephit quest, because I think with a little bit of prep, we can probably take that on. As far as, like, actually, like, the capture rigging
So we
being the
take
issue.
all the quests.
Yep.
No one else can have
You
it.
see, as Zarius and his companion, the large knight, the tall knight, comes walking in. Well, tall to Eider here, still rather short to the rest of the party. I gotta remember here, given your guys' height here. But Zarius kind of comes up, seeing you lot, kind of smiles as he just walks up and looking at you, looks at each of you, and just kind of nods as he goes and grabs the Queen's Gamble quest and goes over to the registration.
Wait, you merchant man? As I look at Zarius.
It doesn't even turn as he kind of gives the little smile and goes, yes, I am, and I'm busy. Yes, sweet miss, yes, please, if you can go ahead and, as she kind of, like, you see as she stamps his signia onto it. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Sen just turns back to the board, wanted to sell magic items.
Oh, wait, huh? I will buy magic items. Excuse me. I'm sorry for my rudeness. We're in the middle of a bit of need of coin, as we're kind of in the middle of getting stuck with something. If you, as far as it goes, if you're looking to trade your goods, I have a lot of calorium, but not much of the giant coin these days. If you're willing to accept that as currency, I can make business with you, but if not, apologies, I have nothing to buy with currently.
Metal or barter would be fine.
Oh, you take barter? Alright, what are you offering in exchange?
I'll go to somewhere to set out first. I set out the set of adamantine plate, and I set out the wand of lightning.
There's just fucking, like, foam at the mouth in the background.
Yeah, we let him take that.
They're just kind of watching you as you go off to the corner of the room, and Zarius kind of sits down and kind of looks at it, starts investigating the armor, and looks at the wand and goes, I can give you double the wand's value, as I have a way of repairing the charges on it, and then the adamantine, let's say 10% above what it costs at market, I can sell or produce with the adamantine from there. It was, leaves you at a couple of tens of thousands of gold.
Sen will just nod. He's not exactly a businessman, but that sounds good to him.
He smiles. He smiles as he goes, I'll have the coin delivered to you within the day. Feel free to bring the goods over after you're paid.
Can I do a quick appraisal on the adamantine plate? Cause
Yeah, go ahead.
from my research, that's way, way off.
You wanna know the-
Donovan was about to
You want to know
do
the best part?
same.
It's
What?
medium-sized armor.
Ah!
Medium-sized plate.
Well, that's a 7, so that's not gonna go too well.
It's adamantine, it's plate. Yeah, go ahead, Dom. What are you thinking?
I mean, I can roll appraisal. I don't think I'll get good. I was gonna sense motive to see if Zarius was lowballing our friend here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and do a sense motive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't get confirmation and went dead silent, and I thought I cut out again.
No,
I'm
you're
just
good.
curious. Arius is suddenly broke.
That'll be a 15.
As you see Zarius kind of looking out, not giving an actual price, you get the sense that Zarius is kind of calculating something in his head. Based on what he said of being broke, something comes to mind that maybe he's trying to calculate if he has actually the coin to afford buying both of these.
Okay. I don't. If Donovan doesn't get any signs that he's being like illegitimate or scummy, he won't.
If he doesn't have the money, Sen will take goods that he can actually use. I can't use these items. That's why I'm trading them.
Zarius just kind of nods as you take the agreement and goes, I'll have my people take care of it. I appreciate your interest. If I may ask, as he kind of turns back to the rest of you, he goes, I don't recommend dealing with Dan too much. The mayor here can be quite a problem.
No, he's about the daftest bastard I've ever met.
Oh, he also can hear everything in his city.
I just kind of shrug. It's like, well, he knew that one for a fact, so I don't feel too bad about saying it out loud.
You see Zarius kind of chuckle and go, I recommend you never dealing with a crazy man. But if I may, there's someone in town I recommend you avoid. If you see a man in red, well, not like these individuals, as he holds his hand out to the receptionist wearing the red vest and goes, but like a red merchant's attire, do yourself a favor and avoid them. Let's just say someone got off a leash that is no longer able to control it.
Oh no.
And he kind of grimaces at that and kind of looks and goes, but, yes?
Would Donander know if this is in reference to Jakix, since I believe he was originally meant to be a companion of Zarius?
Give me an intelligence check to see if you remember.
I think Sen slowly
Because
frowns and
don't
his eyes
remember
widen
what
hearing the red
Jakix
man got off the
wears,
leash.
but-
Sen, remembering the red man on the leash, is suddenly concerned.
Sen knows that guy's scary and he's on the leash.
I rolled bad. I only got an 8 total, but
As you take a second thinking about it, you remember something about a Golden Heart Merchant Company, because Uldren had a card for it, for the guy he saved, and you remember specifically the guy that Uldren saved that you were all really angry about was wearing a red.
But scary wanted red man off leash.
Eyes narrow a bit as his brain's connecting the dots.
Zarius just kind of looks back and goes, someone angered him to a point that he would manage to complete his deal with me. I couldn't hold him any longer, and, well, unfortunately, that said individual's in trouble.
Should be safe here, right? Utham wants him dead.
Well, I don't know where he left, where he vanished. I know I was sleeping, and then I know I woke up with a letter and my neck with a bit of a slice on it. My guard didn't even see anything.
And this is my hint to Saturday that we're about to be hunted again.
Oh no!
Why couldn't he just shake the fucking guy's hand?
Oh no!
Shake my hand.
As he kind of Zarius kind of looks at you and goes, I tell you, whoever he's after, I mean, he's the one who smiles is all I can say. As he just kind of turns and steps, so it kind of starts heading down the stairs.
A moment, cousin.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Happened to be overhearing, one, the exchange of goods. Two, you seem to have a small fluidity issue.
Ian, he kind of looks at you with suddenly a serious look from the depressed appearance on his face and goes, it may be, but that's no business of yours. Why?
Well, it is if I can help. You see, you have a good eye want, and I think I can help your fluidity.
Kind of looks at you a little bit, his eyebrow kind of raised and goes, go on.
I reach in and pull out the pouch that Greg Mortom gave me.
And he looks at it and goes, you lot decided not to take him up on the deal. Interesting. Huh.
Well,
If money, why not just do what other dwarf do? Other dwarf trader.
Zarius kind of looks over at Sen and goes, other dwarf trader?
Trolls give away tin for free. Troll seed is useless, but other people buy tin.
kind of looks at him goes, interesting.
They like to get rid of it, so if you tell them you'll take it, they just give.
Huh. I'm not against an investment. He kind of looks back to Ida and goes, what are you thinking?
It was simple. I want that adamantine.
Uh-huh. And you're willing to pay for it once I get my hands on it?
Oh, well, I think you might have a small issue paying for that much metal.
Then why don't you buy it off of him?
Because frankly, I didn't know that he had it.
You see, he kind of chuckles and goes,
I look at the other two who knew I had this.
Domnander, who didn't realize how metal obsessed Ida was when he first met it and had made the deal prior, just shrugs.
Well, I want to pound them. Adamantite is
It's
one of the
armor.
most...
Ned doesn't care.
Let's say adamantite is one of the more expensive metals in the world.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think Domnander is under the assumption that the moment we lost sight of you, you would have gone and have sold it and traded, because we traded our shit, like, right when we ran into the guy.
He kind of looks at you and goes, you buy it. I just want the wand anyways. Hey, Sen.
Yes?
The adamantine, my cousin here will buy it off you instead. I'll send over payment for the wand as agreed upon, as he kind of turns and starts walking.
I'll just nod, as long as I'm getting a sale.
I just kind of nod, look a little sheepishly, and like start turning out the pouch into Sin's hand and say, I think I might owe you a little bit more, truth to tell.
And how much is in the bag? I guess we're about to find out.
1,200 platinum?
Might be. I think it will be a little more than that. Hold on. Because it's times 10 for each one up, right?
I believe so.
Platinum, I think, is 100.
Yeah, no, it's let me look.
It's each rank is 10 of the last.
Yeah, it's 10 gold equals 1 platinum. Yeah.
1 platinum is 10 gold, and it keeps going down like that.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. It was 12,000 was what DM had told me.
Yeah, you're, I think, slightly... you might not be.
Well, it's I thought it was like 1,000 gold a pound or something like that. And
Yeah, but the armor, like, itself has a... Yeah, so adamantine armor is 16,500 gold. Yep. However, Sen likes you. If you're willing to pay it back as you make money.
yeah.
As you pour out the coin into Sen's hand, Sen just kind of looks at and looks up back at you, waiting for more to fall out as nothing else falls out of the bag.
We'll also throw out of character whenever we divvy up the goods from Greg's Maritime's chest. We'll all get splits of that, and you'll have extra money in your pocket. Domnander's not saying anything though. He's just watching you make this deal.
I just kind of like shake the bag like a little sadly and say, I owe you a good bit more. Would you mind if I carry the balance until I have the rest?
Hmm.
You will be supervising him for at least a week while fulfilling my deal, so you can make sure he doesn't leave.
Could let wear armor, less likely to die on mission, and then pay me after.
Nod and say, I'm a dwarf of my word. I will not filch this debt.
I'll hand him the plate. That's probably almost its size to him already, because it's a little medium armor
It
set.
is medium, yeah.
Ida begins like running around like a giddy child with it over his head.
Yeah, as you get toss it on. Probably got very lucky on the armor set with the drop on that. As you kind of start putting it on, Dom looking at the rest of the quest. Dom, do you take any other quests off the board?
I say he's probably had grabbed if someone else hadn't the dire situation, because that's the one we're seeming to take.
Okay.
He's taken Snow Spirit Capture for himself, at the very least, with plans to, talk to the party taking that. I think he already pointed the White Wolf hunt to Ned, but he didn't take it. I think he'll also gesture to a Skyward situation as Ider's like having his little celebration and go, the quest itself, nothing too interesting, very vague, but 1,000 gold and some healing potions
Oh.
might be something to look into with Kez not feeling up to the weather. We have Ned, but we
Does the Skyrim one
exactly
DM
have
on
our
it say where the quest is?
As you look at it, yeah, Dom, as you kind of pull it down, taking a look, you do notice that that it seems to depict the mountains themselves, east of you, currently.
So, because I don't think that one's very far away.
No, it's very close. So so he puts that out there to the group, mentions our main healers down. What say the companion?
Well, the key is to not get hit in the first place, or to get hit less often so it doesn't matter to get healing. But that's just my philosophy on it.
Dom looks at you, a man who now is adamantine, as a man with 0 armor, and just stands there holding the quest with just the most unamused expression.
What? Stand behind me. It'll be fine. I'm not very tall. You can reach over me.
That you do realize that means all projectiles and most swings will go right over you and into me.
I'm a very intimidating dwarf.
As you look at Ida, you're pretty sure he could guard one of your calves.
You won't get shot in the
think my
calf.
shins, both shins, well protective. Everything knee and above, if even knee and above.
In my
Hear me
defense,
out.
that shin is indestructible.
Hey, hear me out. If Eider stands on Sen's shoulders,
He'd make a great chest plate. Yeah, you could also, if you want to, you could get like a rope or a chain and have Eider hang from it around your chest like a chest plate.
I don't think I have enough strength and carrying capacity for that either.
Not in the slightest, but it'd be entertaining to watch.
I thought you were gonna suggest we attach him to a chain and make him like a maul, like a weapon.
You could also do that now, given his weight with that adamantine.
if Marty goes close to death, Sen will save, but we'll have to pay Sen if he has to save your life.
Yeah.
Of course. I think our best bet to take first is a dire situation, and obviously I personally believe the snow spirit capture should be our second. There's also spell scrolls offered, which I know are hard to come by, and if we get those 2 out of the way, and nothing in regards, well, the Formian Queen quest was taken, I think Skyward situation could be our third quest.
I'm good for anything. I'm indestructible. And I clang the fucking chest plate.
Thumbs up.
Are you enjoying having damage resistance?
Ned agreed.
Yes, I'm enjoying having 3 damage resistance at level 2.
Oh, you're gonna really need that here soon. Don't worry. Just for my own note, Dom. So you picked up a dire situation, skyward situation, and which was the third one or the other one?
Snow spirit capture, but I don't know what the rules of the guild are, if we're able to take them and unlock them, or if we have to register all at once.
They will let you take all 3 as you kind of walk them over. She looks at you and goes, do you have a symbol or an insignia?
Can I just hand them Sen's symbol?
Sure. As you see, what is Sen's symbol?
Would I?
It's the statuette.
Oh, the great, as he hands you a little golden ring with the great sky leaker.
It's a picture of what the statuette looks like on a little envelope, but
yeah,
it is the sky leaker on a...
Yeah, on a ring. As they shove it into the quest, you watch as a red ink kind of splurges out and Sen's name comes up as a registration onto it. She hands you back the papers and the gal goes, "This should work. Now if you die, if we find your body, we'll know what you were doing." All three are registered to your name. Others can get them, but you have a 24-hour, in a sense, setup. They can't. No one will go hunting for it until then.
Sen will nod. I'm guessing we'll head out.
Perfect.
Ba-ba-da-dum.
As you guys head out into the town. Yeah. Yes, Dom?
No, I don't know if you're wrecking the session. I was gonna have Dom suggest that we go to the library to research wormling resistances and weaknesses before we actually go up.
Yeah.
I mean, if it lives here, only guess what its breath is.
Yeah, I got Knowledge Arcana. I probably pass it just base stuff of the CR, if nothing else.
Okay.
All right, if you're confident, yeah. As
Well, to be fair, we also have a bunch of money if we want to go shopping for like stuff that'll damage it more. But
I also have 5 spell levels saved up to nuke the fuck out of something.
yeah, as let's
oh, okay. Well, if you're set magically, then yeah.
As you lot, we'll call it here for today. As you lot kind of gather your stuff up, I'll give you guys about 8 free actions in between now and you heading towards your ship. These will be treated as your actions that you can think out between now and next session. It's just if you have anything you want to do, like a downtime action, training, seeing anything. We'll treat this as about 4 hours in total, so about an action every half hour. We'll pick up next session with you lot, assumedly, getting either your cart or getting the airship and heading out towards the location on the first quest of the dire situation. A lake to the south or to the north of the city. All right. Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you all who watched. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all next time.